That's fine. All good, just fighting a cold. Well, hopefully you'll be on the mend very soon, Mad King. Oh, Adrian, hello, welcome in. Um, Good to see you. A hype train is incoming. I guess I should, I know, it's fine. You'll have a limited time to achieve, didn't read anything that it said, but I think that's what you all see, not necessarily me. I don't think I get new emotes. Maybe I do. I don't know. I've never really looked at it. Boy, do I have stories. I got a lot to catch everyone up on. I'm not addressing that. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be like full transparency. I was in on the bit for a little bit. And then, to be perfectly honest with you, I am hanging on by a thread at this moment. Which is one of the reasons why I had to consider whether or not I wanted to stream, right? A lot of the time, streaming recharges my batteries. I have not really created content in almost 4 weeks now. So I was really, really missing it. But at the same time, I know that like my mental health is at maybe the lowest it's been since the story that I've told you about, where I almost quit making content. And for a little bit, I was like, oh, haha, I can joke around. I can, hang out with pals and be silly. And then there was just, I don't know what it was. It was something very small, something minuscule. Also, hello, Dorkram. Thank you for the 7 months. There was something just very small that happened in the interactions that I had with friends last night that actually infuriated me. And I actively was like, nope. And I had to drive home from Newark to New York. And I did that in mostly silence. So, I was struggling a little bit yesterday. I'm still struggling today. Let's get into all the different stories that we have. Okay, let's get caught up on everything that has happened since we all last saw each other. So, first and foremost, since the last time we all hung out, I finished packing the New Orleans apartment and put everything in a pod with Az's help. Thank you to Az. And we got everything done like the day that I had to be out. We finished everything on the day that I had to be out, which is great, which is fine. That sort of thing happens all the time. I'm sure some people are literally going until the last minute. Yeah, so basically I got everything packed up. Az and I closed up the apartment. And that was that, right? I was feeling pretty good about it. But the biggest issue here was that we had not really gotten a chance to sleep a lot. Like me especially, because like my anxiety and my stress about everything was through the roof, right? So we started the trip off. I started it, but kind of early on, I had to be like, I need a nap. Can you take over? And that was sort of how we did the trip, right? We would sort of nap on and off in the passenger seat while the other person drove. Sometimes we would be talking if we were both up or whatever. But I think that Az probably did about 60 to 70% of the trip, if I'm honest, because I was so tired and so stressed out that I definitely, all the nights of lack of sleep from that previous week caught up to me. So I drop Az off. I get a hotel room, like maybe 30 minutes later. And then the next morning I drive the last 3 hours up to New York to this same house that I'm in right now. The house that I have been staying in, that I've done a couple streams from, early on. Right. And, there was like not really an issue with that, right? Like I got here and I was like, okay, and now I go back to beginning to work. I start looking for apartments again because I had stopped a little bit while I was packing because it's also hard to do that when you're not in the same space, right? Also, thank you to everyone who donated to, or not donated, sorry, who resubbed and contributed to the hype train. Thank you very much. It's good to see you all again. And so I got up here and, you know, I was exhausted, but I had to hit the ground running, right? Like I had to immediately start doing work. So I started kind of playing catch up a little bit because I really didn't get anything done the week prior, but like everyone for sure knew that, right? Everyone knew that I was packing over like almost 2,000 miles away, right? Like when you do the math, like it's closer to 2,000 than it is to 1,000, right? It's like 1,600 and some miles, basically 1,700. And so we did all that in about the course of like 48-ish hours, right? With very little stopping kind of thing. And so I'm trying to play catch up. I'm trying to do all these things. And the next day after I get here, it's like, okay, let's have a meeting. Let's start talking about the things that have to start getting worked on. So I start working through those things, right? And the first week kind of goes by a little bit uneventfully. It's a little quiet, but like I'm playing catch up. I'm trying to do my work, just trying to put my nose to the grindstone, right? And so the next thing that happens is the following week, we have this big event. And the event is hosted by another company, another group. And we are sort of like the guests there, or like the guest artist, right? And so like other people, hello, Ash, welcome in. I'm catching everybody up on where I've been over the last month or what's been up over the last month. Real fast, too long, didn't read. I moved from New Orleans to New York. It was a stressful move, but I got myself up here. All my stuff is in a pod. And believe me, when I say all my stuff is in a pod, that information is like so super important to remember. Like I'm going to bring up that pod again in a little bit. So, Dorkin, thank you so much for gifting 3 months to Ash. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So we, and Ash, enjoy your, ad-free viewing experience. So we have this big event and like we had been in contact with them for a couple of weeks with like all of us, right, involved, leading up to this event. And we kind of kept asking questions about like photography and video and not really getting any answers. And then finally, like 2 days before, they kind of gave us an answer and it was like very clearly no video. And I was like, well, that sucks because that's the main thing that I do for my job, right? Like that's probably 60% of what my job is like videography and like getting dynamic content, right? To be edited and or made and edited, stuff like that, pushed out. So I get there the day of, and I don't bring the big fancy camera because I already know I can't take it in. But I do bring my phone, obviously, and I'm like, and like a little thing to kind of like stabilizer sort of situation. And I'm like, hey, like this is who I am for this company. Like, you know, just want to double check like what is like allowed. It's not the new place. Don't you worry. So the guy straight up tells me to my face, you cannot video. You can only take photos and like from this time to this time and this time to this time, like during these segments of the day. He was like, these are all union people. The videographers for the event are also union, things like that. Like, you know, we can't be in their way. We can't be, you know, using their likeness, all this other stuff. And so then I was like, you know, I post for their socials. I was like, can I use any video, like even just short little clips just to kind of, you know, get some hype about the big things that we're doing. And he was like, you can take small clips and you can post some like kind of compilation as long as it is less than 15 seconds and doesn't use any of the audio of today's performance because it's all copywritten material, which I do understand. Like it was all film scores, right? So of course there's a little bit of extra stuff going on. So I passed this along about what's going on. And I was told that this was not like an acceptable answer. And I was like, I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like the guy who's in charge of this whole thing, that is what he told me. And like, I don't want to ruin our relationship with these people. Right. Now, of course, all of the directors, like the people conducting the orchestras, they were doing that stuff from their own personal accounts and no one was telling them that they couldn't. But let's also be clear, like an individual is typically, depending on what they're doing, way less liable for things than a spot that has like union workers and a company, right? Profit or nonprofit, for profit or nonprofit alike, right? Like we all have the same certain types of rules. So I get that, right? But of course, this was not something that I think made sense to other people. So at the end of the event, I had already posted a couple things, but I'm not someone who thinks that you should post. You don't want to over inundate things. Oversaturate, right? The next morning, I woke up 35 minutes before my first meeting of the day, 5 minutes before my alarm goes off. I wake up to a text message saying, let's hop on a meeting 30 minutes before the first meeting of the day to go over your job, to make sure we're all on the same page. That was like day 8 of my job. So like, that's not a great feeling. It's not a great email or message or whatever to get. So I had like 5 minutes to no coffee, basically just throw some clothes on, whatever, be on camera. And that meeting was mostly like me being reprimanded for what they expect or what they wanted, blah, blah, blah. And like me trying to defend yeah, of course. I admitted to the things where like things sort of like fell through the cracks or, weren't done necessarily properly because again, I had been moving or whatever. And I tried to be like, hey, I was told we were all going to be pretty cool about that. Right. But like also, I expressed like, sort of what my expectation is and also sort of what my like workflow is, like how I operate, right? Things like that. One second, is this? One moment. I can't tell if my Switch is actually charging or not. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, hang on one moment. Sorry, hold tight, everyone. Okay, I guess that is working. Okay, it's okay. Just taking forever to load. That's fine. Okay, sorry. I had that like I'm having it set up just in case I do have time to play anything. No, okay. So like I said though, I had this meeting. I'm trying to like basically say like, okay, here's where I think that like I am, like to my own defense, right? Like here's the things that like I do think are proper, or like we just need to understand like this sort of thing takes a second to get into, right? And I wasn't really listened to. I was cut off a lot. There was a lot of stuff. And I'm not going to get into every last detail of the stuff that happened, right? But like throughout the rest of that week, it was often just sort of like I couldn't seemingly do anything right in certain people's eyes, despite me like knowing what was proper or what was good or what the time frame of certain turnarounds are. And I was feeling like super frustrated. I was feeling like I had made a huge mistake taking that job. I was feeling like, why did I move? Why did I do this? This is actually awful. Like, yeah, it's like more stable pay, but like it felt like I was immediately having my job threatened. Right. But by the end of that week, I had finally had like enough time to sort of prove, I think, myself and like the things that I do. And the following Monday, I was like, okay, things are finally looking up. Things are looking good. Like we're starting to find the rhythm. We're starting to figure out, the sort of the communication within the team, things like that. And I offered up sort of, what my plan was for the next few posts, for the next few things. And I was like, and obviously there's going to be some stuff that comes up in between because there's going to be like photography and stuff like that that'll be happening at events and stuff like that. So like I'll be able to kind of, build things up in between like the bigger pieces, right? Well, what happens next is at the end of the meeting on Monday, I was like, hey, just so we're all aware, I have still not been added to this one calendar, right? There's like 8,000 calendars. And that makes sense, right? Like organizationally, like there's a lot of different things that happen. So you have different, categories and things that need to sort of have everyone be involved in, but not everyone needs every single calendar. But this is a huge one. I was like, I am still not on the staff calendar. So I can't mark off like when I'm like available for a call, but like not available to go into the office, when I'll be like out of town and like can't do anything, or if I'll be out of town and can take a call, things like that, right? I need to be added to that. And I was like, but I just wanted to let everyone know that because I have 2 12-hour days tomorrow and Wednesday, I have an 8-hour day today, 8 hours on Friday, got this, got that, right? And I was like, my 40 hours are allotted. I was like, so I'm going to be taking like Thursday. And my boss was like, what does that mean? And I was like, it means that, because I have my 40 hours, I said, plus this was something that was actually on my calendar for before I took the job. And I was like, which I had stated that I had a couple things on the calendar before I took the job. But also like once I knew that I was going to have 40 hours, well provided for that week, I didn't think it was necessarily a big deal, but I was just like, hey, I want to make sure that people knew that like I wasn't going to be around to come into the office on Thursday, but I would be like around during part of the day if people needed me. I probably should have just not said anything, honestly, because it was like I need you to stay after. Hello, how are you? Oh, that's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, I got like, again, sort of like, not like yelled at, but like, it was definitely like and I was like, dude, like I'm still doing my work. I'm still putting everything in. I still have stuff planned to go out on Thursday, even if I'm not, in the office, however, by the time we hit Wednesday was like the sweet spot of last week. Wednesday was the first time where I really feel like everything started to come together here, right? Wednesday was like was the second big event of the season, and I had done apparently a proper amount of hype for it. I had done some good posts for it both the day of and the day after, things like that. So like Wednesday through Friday, I felt like the attitude around me was much stronger and much better. So I'm hoping, this is wood, right? I'm hoping that things are chill. But it is definitely a thing where my first 2.5 weeks of my job feeling like I might immediately get fired is certainly not it. But all that's been weighing very heavily on me, right? Again, there's also all sorts of little mini stories in between here and there, right? But we don't need to get into all of those. I don't want to be talking about only bad stuff. But I do have one final... nope, that's not true. 2 last bad things to talk about, or stories or whatever. But like one of them is kind of funny. One of them is just annoying, right? I don't know why I said it's funny. It's definitely not funny. It actually almost caused a panic attack. I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit. But basically, I was supposed to move into the new apartment, right? Which is why I was like, hey, I'm not in the new place. Let's not talk about it. Hang on a second. I'm going to put on something else real quick. I'm going to put on Where the hell is the playlist for... Yeah, I'll just do this. I'll put this on. There we go. Okay. So, on Friday, like yesterday, I was initially supposed to move into the new apartment. Because of a bunch of different things that happened, I actually pushed my flight back. And I decided to fly in a little bit later so that I could make sure that I didn't miss or wasn't late to any single meeting or anything like that. So I worked out of a coffee shop basically all day. Also, sorry, I do want to specify. I do have a good story after this. Like I'm telling all the bad stuff first so that we can build up to like the good stuff, right? So the bad stuff though here. So I'm working from this coffee shop. Everything's going fine. Everything's going great. And I'm like, hey, like, you know, I have family that's going to come help me move stuff out of my pod, stuff like that. So like, I need to definitely make sure that it's on the way. So I go into the pod thing and I enter like, hey, I want it to be here basically in 7 days, which is more than enough time because it takes 500, miles a day kind of thing, right? Is how fast they go. So it'd be like 3.5 days. And so if they left Monday, it would be here on Thursday, which is exactly what it needs to be here, right? So I put in the new address and it keeps being like, hey man, that's not possible. And I was like, what do you mean? Like I was told that I can put stuff in a pod and then it can be transferred to wherever I move to. What are you talking about? So I contact pods and they're like, oh, whoever did your account messed up. They set it to local only with like a maximum basically of like one state, like, east, west, north, right? So it was like, I think like the maximum that it could be for the move was like 1,200, right? And so I was thinking that's a really good price, right? Because that also included like a $200 a month like storage, which is great because like they were going to hold on to it for basically exactly a month, and then they were going to move it maybe 2 months at most, right? But I did not think I was still going to be here by this time. So they were like, hey, someone messed it up. They're like, they didn't set it for like long distance. And I was like, okay, well, like, what does that mean? They're like, well, there's going to be a little bit of a price difference. And I was like, okay, well, that's not great, but like, I'm sure I can find a way to cover that, right? Because I've got a little bit of extra cash at the exact moment. What are we looking at? Because again, like through the stuff that we did for the move, like with the resets and all that other stuff and some of the donations, I had basically paid for almost all of the pod and move. No, I had not. I wasn't even close, my friends. They hit me with a new bill for $4,000. Before tax. So it was like a thing where they took like 15% off and it was still, $3,600. $4,000 is a lot to me. Like, AK, I've never had $4,000 like on hand at any point in my life. I'm not like I've never been a rich person. You know what I'm saying? That is like an ungodly amount, right? And I was like, I don't have that much. And I was like, but that stuff, all my stuff was then in New Orleans. And like, there's some stuff that if I was like, okay, if I had to start over, like 4 or 5 things I could get rid of. But the exercise bike that cost, like over $1,000. Some of the like figures, that are like, limited editions or whatever that were there. a lot of clothes that I would not be able to, remake. Um, oh yeah. I mean, actually, okay, I will say that, AK, there's probably like definitely like a time or two where maybe I had like 10,000 on hand, but like simply because it was like I got a check for scholarships or whatever, and then like I paid my tuition, and then it was all gone. So it's like I didn't really count that. Because it's not like I was like, oh, how much do I have right now? Oh, $5,000. Well, then this is no problem, right? Like, put it in the yacht, right? Like, I've never been, that well off. But I'm going to turn Spotify down just a little bit. So, yeah, okay. So basically, I was about to lose my mind because I was like, that is also not something that my family could cover either. Like, my family is not rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have money. So that was a huge, hit basically. So I immediately started researching like other places that could basically go in to the pod facility, like with permission, obviously, right? Like access my pod. They would probably have to break the lock because they wouldn't have my key. Because if it, I have the key because it was supposed to come up to me, and then and basically break the lock and then just put it all in a truck and take it up north, right? How much could that be? So I contacted a couple places. It wasn't getting much better. And then one company was just like talking to me and was like, how much were they saying? And I gave like the 3 different prices that I've been given. And the guy was like, they are like basically robbing you. Like, he's like, it does not need to be that expensive, right? Like, and then gave me a price that was, again, still more than I expected. However, it's better, right? Because it was with taxes and fees and stuff like that included. It was $2,075. And that includes 2 people to move things like onto the truck, like, and out of the pod, and also off of the truck. Like, when they arrive in New York, they will unpack the whole thing for me. So I don't have to like, take things up and down the stairs or try and find a way to get something into an elevator that might not actually fit, kind of thing. Like, they're going to handle all of that. At that point, it just becomes like a little bit more than I was expecting, and then a convenience fee kind of thing, right? So it does work out. I have the money. Barely. Like, because the other thing is that I also have to pay for the security deposit and the prorated first, like, basically it's like a week and a half, here. And so that's the other final bad story before we get into the good stuff. And I promise the good stuff is very good, and it is going to, I think, outweigh some of these stories. But I went in about a week from yesterday to basically like go over all of the extra, all the different possible apartments that I could move into, right? There were a couple different options. And so I was like, okay, let's take a look at these places. Cause like they're all basically the same cost, but they all have like something just a little bit different from each other. So let's just see if like anything is worth the extra, basically 100 to 200 over the course of the year, right? Because in a way it's like chump change, but at the same time, if it was like, well, that's not really worth anything, like, fuck it. So I went in and I looked at these places, and the corner apartment was a little bit smaller than some of the ones that were like in like the middle, right? Where like because they were, full squares or whatever. But the corner spot also had the world's smallest balcony, which is very funny to me, and a slightly larger kitchen. And it had the option. I mean, again, because it's a corner spot, it just felt like I was going to be disrupting people a lot less with my volume, because I think there's only one apartment directly next to me, but the bedrooms wouldn't by any means necessary be side by side. So there should be enough space where the only people that I could, so they can let you cook. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but like that should mean that like, only above and below might have a little extra volume, like if I'm streaming late or something like that. But hopefully it should be something that, hopefully it's not that disruptive, right? So I chose that one. We talked about some stuff and I was like, I got a lot of work things happening. And I was like, but I will do my best to get everything in. But I was going to move in today. Oh, that's so true, actually. Jen, you could actually just come over to the new apartment to do your big taco stream because I have cameras and stuff like that. We could do at least 2 camera angles. If I can figure out how to get this one GoPro situation figured out, I could probably get a 3rd one. That could be fun. So I was like, hey, like, basically I had almost everything done. And their whole thing was, I mean, is there an airport near you at all? Because if you could fly to, I don't know how expensive it would be to go to fly just to Albany, but there is a small airport here. So I have a week off at the end of November. Well, like talking about like the week after Thanksgiving, Jordan. It's like an hour drive to the airport, but like, you have family? No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be like, hey, make your family drive an hour, pick you up, take you to the airport. That'd be nuts. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Like, drive from your house to Jen. Then, Jen, if you're going to New York, you're coming to my house too. That's true. We could make the trip down to Maryland too. I do have a car here, so you could, yeah. Okay. So I got basically everything in except for 2 things, but like it wasn't due until, hey, yeah, this stream setup is crazy, JLo, especially because I am not in the new place. So I literally hauled everything out just for, I mean, I have like a thing, like I'm using like technically my work camera, but I'm using my work camera with like a professional tripod. And then I'm sitting at a kitchen table. And so I have all my stuff set up the way that I kind of would at my desk, but with the... So, getting back to this though. So I have to pay for the spot, right? And I have to move in or whatever, right? And I was just like, hey, like basically all that it is you have to turn in all of your like kind of like last pieces of paperwork and stuff like that the day that you're moving in. So I did call them to say, hey, I was supposed to move in at 3, but I had to move my flight back. Oh shit. Also, again, when I get to the good stories, I've got something about JLo, and I have something in the other room that I'll show you all that is related to JLo. I called them and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to make the 3 o'clock. Is there any way that I could do it Saturday? And she was like, typically like, yes, because like Saturday is a very popular move-in day, but like the property manager is not going to be in. So it's like just me, and I'm going to my sister's baby shower. I was like, oh. And she was like, well, what we could do is oh, I just dropped a lot of frames. What happened? Am I still good for all of you? I don't know how much of that just got lost. I apparently just lost a bunch of frames and everything froze up for a bit. Oh, okay, weird. She was like, what I'll do is, as long as you can have the stuff to me that you need to have in, right? Like by end of day Friday, I will put the key in a realtor box and then text you the code to get in. And I was like, great. I'll just move in on Saturday. So the only things that needed to be sent in was was my account number with the power grid or it's called National Grid. That's like the, which is like the, electricity and gas for this area. So I sent them that code or that account number to show that I had, signed up for the power for the spot. And then also I had to have proof of renter's insurance with like their company being like part of the interested party and that kind of thing, right? Which is, I don't know, like it's not even really that much, right? Like it was, I did personally put on stuff for myself too. Like I didn't want like anything to happen to like cameras and stuff like that not be covered for it. So it was like 140 to cover an entire year, which is chump change, right? But it covers like up to like $10,000 worth of damage, which I think that my computer, my camera, and at least one of my instruments would be that. Or no, two or three of the instruments rather would be that number, right? Maybe the Switch as well, right? So like, that's good. That's good coverage. That's the kind of thing that I need, right? So I got that coverage and I got all of it by noon on Friday. And I sent them an email and I was like, hey, here's the stuff. I was like, so we should be good. I was in a meeting or two, so I couldn't like call them. 2 hours later, I'm like, hey, just want to make sure we're still good. Nothing. I tried calling them at 3:00 when I was supposed to take my tour. No one answers the phone. So I'm sitting there looking at my bank account going, okay, well, if they take out the charge, that means that they've done the security deposit. So it should mean that there's a thing. Friends, they never took out the security deposit in like the first month or whatever. No text about what the code is to get into the spot. So for whatever reason, they basically just were like, I guess see you on Monday. So on Monday, I'm going to have to go back and like, see if they will, like take me in, or I don't know how else to say that. Like, I don't know like what's going to happen. But like, basically it's just like, I need to move in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, is someone going to give me a key on Monday? Cause like, I kind of need to know. No clue. Right. So that is another thing that where it's like, I was also almost considering like trying to borrow a, folding table from someone, just to last me until all of my furniture arrives on Thursday. But then I was like, why even bother borrowing one to set up my stream stuff if I can't confirm that I'm going to be able to move into the apartment? Please, sir, may I have some apartment? Yeah, so like, it's just crazy. And like, basically like everything is going to hit at the same time, I think. I think that on Monday, the 2,000 is going to hit for my, for the movement of stuff. And then I'm going to have 1,500 come out for, if you put a buck in my cup, I will shut the fuck up. That's pretty good. And then Monday, I'm also going to have like about $1,500 come out, of my account, to pay for the month. Herein lies the rub, folks. I do not have $3,500. So I did have to call my parents and be like, hey, remember how like the whole point of me taking this job and like moving away was so that I didn't have to borrow money? Could I borrow a little bit of money so that I could pay for my stuff to be moved and so that I can move in, and then I'll just pay you back as soon as I can? Thank you. Which I know they wouldn't complain about it, but I'm sure was fucking obnoxious. Like, 32-year-old man can't get his shit together. It's obnoxious. I mean, it doesn't make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they're cool with it, I'm not cool with it. I don't love that I had to do that. So As much as I was like, we're going to move on to things that are not the game reset stuff, we may have a couple more streams like that for a little bit. Not that those are going to be the only streams that I do, but I'm just saying once I do move in, it might be once a week for a little bit. Cause, yeah. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Sorry. And I should specify, because of this also means I'm going to be, I kind of was already expecting this, but this confirms to me that I am going to be living off of ramen, cereal, and like chicken breast and veggies, for the next, I don't know, probably at least to the end of the year. I will definitely not be having like pizza money or Taco Bell money or, you know, like, I think it's going to take me a bit to get out of this financial hole. Yeah, I mean, it is back to college life, and it sucks because like for a little bit I was kind of, you know, I wasn't even eating, you know, crazy, right? But I was like a couple times being like, oh, well, I got a good job. I got this going on. I had a really good day with this thing. So like, I'm going to buy pizza, right? I can't be doing that. So yeah, I know, but unfortunately, Dorkrin, it is not financially possible for me to like, to the point where I was like thinking today about how like I really just, after everything that's happened, I did not have the energy to just like go get, like, I was just going to go get like a McDonald's cheeseburger. And I was just like looking at the bank account and I was like, let's wait. Let's wait. So I ate cereal today and ramen, and that has been my day. No little treats is so heartbreaking. Yeah, especially like what this could also be interesting because I also eat. I stress eat, but like if I can't afford to stress eat, maybe I'll stress metabolism my life away. Okay, but I do have a couple good things. Like, and when I say like good, like there are some things that have been, oh, hang on, I'm losing frames again. Hey, what the fuck? Uh-oh. Something just happened. Alert box? What happened? Uh-oh. Dorkrin, what the hell? Sorry, also, I have no idea why the alert box was so far down. But thank you. Also, I'm losing frames again. What is going on? Okay, am I back again? What the fuck happened there? Okay, so Dorkrin donated. Thank you so much, Dorkrin. Also, I do wonder. Uh-oh. I'm not even playing the game, and we're... Thank you, Dorkrin. I appreciate that. Dorkrin tipped $1 and then did it 99 more. Oh, well, so like what's happening is it says drop frames, and it is dropping frames, and what's happening is like the, oh my god, Dorkrin, what the hell?
Gotta keep this man in ramen.
Gotta keep this man in ramen. Uh-oh, hang on. Okay, well, that's good. Hey, that's good news. I forgot that we had just reset, so no fear of that. Little fear.
Get some queer ramen.
Queer ramen. I don't know if that exists. What is gay ramen? Ramen. So, okay. Let me go grab something from the other room. I'm going to put up a Go Piss Girl screen. Dark Carp, thank you for 6 beautiful months. Okay. Ramen. All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab something from the other room, and then I'm going to tell the good stories. Now that we've gotten through all the bad, right? 40 minutes worth of bad stories. I apologize, but we got some good stuff. So hang tight. Where's Spotify? Hang on. I'll boost the jams a little bit. Okay, I'm back. Wait, what, Dorkin? What the hell happened to your elbow? Also, why are you making me cry? Jen, what have you done? Also, it says that I'm like losing internet connection, which is also another reason why I didn't want to be streaming from here anymore. Oh no. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate you. Love you. It's your story time, not mine. That is a person trying to get out of trouble. Okay, so the good news is, and it's all RT related, right? Oh, weird. Yeah, I don't know. I sprained my ankle on Wednesday. Why the hell did you sprankle? Why sprankle? How'd you sprankle? I care. RT, good news never. Okay, come on, hey now. Hey, what, J-Lo, what are you talking about? There's always good news, right? There's never anything that could ever be bad there. But it is good news, at least in terms of like me, right? Same, right? This is also, well, we'll come back to this. I'm Team J-Lo. Okay. I told you not to be mean to me today. Oops, hang on. My keyboard is still broken. So think before you speak. Oh, hang on. Because it's a part of me. Don't tell Colin I have a brick break loose on a person's step and fall full force on my elbow while carrying mail. They didn't realize it was swelling for the next 2 hours. I had to work, so it was huge. When I got off work. Oh no, Dorkrin, that's awful. No, my fan. I'm your fan, JLo. I'm your biggest fan. Okay, but oh yeah, hey, sewer. Also, I don't know if you get workman's comp for that, but maybe you should. Okay, come on, OBS, please don't do this. I want to specify, by the way, how good the internet is here. If I do a speed test right now, it's looking like 20 megabits per second. Workers' comp. Yeah, sorry. I thought my ankle was fine after I rolled it on the stairs and then went upstairs and it was huge. But the swelling's going down and bruising now, so I think, okay, that's good. Oh yeah, stop getting hurt. I mean, I will also say, like, just because it drops a frame, it doesn't mean that, like, it's necessarily getting chunky either, because it could drop only a frame a second, and people probably wouldn't ever recognize, right? Like, it could also cut me from 60 frames per second to 30 and still look smooth. But, like, still, when you see the thing of, like, hey, it's losing a little bit, right? It can be concerning, right? Anyway, so one of the big reasons, though, right, why I wasn't available at work this week for Thursday was I was going to RT. And I went with Christian to see a live taping of On the Spot, where we got to see J-Lo working. And that was fun. J-Lo was very professional, except for one time where he looked over at us and went to me, or winked. He did something. He did something that was a little like, I was like, ooh la la. At work, scandalous, right? With static video, like chatting in front of a nondescript wall in a these are our demands style. Yeah. Here's today's date. This is what I need. Here's the ransom for me. So we go in. It's great because we arrive to the office, and we are some of the first people there. And we were kind of running late, like they were running a little bit late too. But it didn't matter, right? Because it all still ended right around the same time it normally does. So they were pretty good at like kind of making up for lost time. But we get there, and it's great because it's like mostly people who show up every single week because they live like right around the corner. And then there's just like us from out of town. But it's also great because like it was a lot of people that like clearly thought that they have built a rapport by seeing some of the same people like twice, like 2 weeks in a row. Oh, we can make a callback joke to something. And everyone's like, what? Right. Meanwhile, Andrew Rosas being like, hey, bud, how are you? It's good to see you. And the people are like, who the fuck? What? Wait a minute. Me, right? The guy who was here last week. And he's like, Colin, how are you? It's like, wait, why does he know his name? It was also great because like, it's one of those things where we're now kind of like a normal level, right? So like when I was there, no, I just said my name. Oh, there is a delay. I'm an idiot. Like sometimes you got to realize that there's like sometimes I read the chat faster than like you get to hear me. Yeah. You got what I'm saying. So, no, but like, it's great because like, there's people who like everyone that I saw that I knew recognized me, but like, it was very funny because like, obviously everyone is in work mode. So no one is like being like, hey, how are you? Like coming over to chat, which to be clear is fine. I don't want people to like be late to things. I don't want to keep people, because that makes me, both uncomfortable and also makes me feel bad. I don't want special treatment. I just want people to do their thing, right? I want people to continue to exist. It was just nice that, people would walk by and be like, hey, or, oh, how are you? Right. But my favorite thing that Christian would do, and by favorite, I do mean I kept being like, you need to shut the fuck up, is anytime he could see someone coming, right? Like, from like behind me, he would just start going, oh, that's so funny, Colin M. Parker. I can't believe you would say that. Or what are the chances, Colin M. Parker? And I would be like, that has to mean someone's behind me. I'd be like, shut up, dude. But like, it did mean that a couple people were just like, hey, how are you? So then also, I, give my bag and Christian's bag to J-Lo, who very graciously put it off to the side so that they weren't just like on the bleachers with us. And we had a good time though, right? At one point, Eric Bador walks out and is like, oh, what's this? This is crazy. Extra, materials from like a sponsor that like, I can't have in my office anymore because it continues to smell bad. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, here, just have it for free, and just like put it on the table. And it was like vapes or something like that. I was just like, well, we can't take that on the plane, so I'm not even going to attempt to take one. But the others, swarmed to it, right, in droves. But then we saw the show, and that it was great, right? Unbelievably funny, had a great time, laughed a lot. I think the only shot that we ever ended up in was like the kind of like droning shot as like the thing opens up and you can kind of see our sides. But also, again, I don't need to be on camera. Like I don't care. It was just, I wanted to be able to be like, look, there we are. But if we didn't make it, we don't make it. There were so many good moments. If you haven't seen the episode, you should. Really got me laughing many times. Throughout the whole thing, right? But like there were certain moments in particular that just really struck the Colin funny bone. So I was having a great time. You were in the intro sweep, the swipe past the running to Stinky Dragon set and back, and the ending. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's good. because also like I wasn't necessarily watching the monitors at all times unless it was like kind of necessary to see something happening. Um, but so yeah, most of the time I was straightforward, right? Um, but like it was cool because then we took like a group photo kind of thing. Then we're out in the lobby, and Michael is coming by to take some pictures with folks for a little bit, and then he's leaving. And the security guy, Matt, was kind of like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey, J-Lo has our bags. We're just waiting for him to get done. He's gonna bring out our bags." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And like at this point, I've seen Matt and I've seen Taco enough times where like I don't think they necessarily like immediately recognize me, but like for example, one point when I was like, "Hey, I like here's where I was before, or what, or like I'm this guy, like I'm gonna be back again for this," and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're right, I did see you during RTX or whatever," and then like Matt was like, "Oh, you were the guy that was always last to leave," and I was like, "Oh, sorry," like, oops, yep, you're right, I sure was, because people like Joe or Trevor or whatever would talk to me for a very long time, and the guy would be like, "Oh my god, fucking move on." But still, so they let us wait around. And then it was great because Michael comes back at one point and goes, "You guys just still waiting around?" He's like, what did he say? I think he said something along the lines of like, "You still, God, I really wish I could remember what he said." But like, it was this thing where he was like, what are you, like, why are you here? And we're like, "Oh, J-Lo has our bags. We're just, he's bringing them out to us in a second." And he was like, "Okay. Do you guys want a picture with my abs?" And we're like, "We're good, thanks." And he's like, "All right, last chance." And then he walks away. And I was like, "All right, very funny." So then J-Lo is like, "Hey, come with me." So he will sign your pink slips one day. No, that's not true. No, but J-Lo's like, "Come with me," right? So J-Lo brings us. I got arm pics. Listen, I love the boy, but I'm not about to be one of the dogs barking. You know what I'm saying? Um, Listen, it's fine. Greenwich, hello. Welcome in. No, but like I got a couple pictures. In fact, okay, listen, I don't have these on my. One second. Let me send myself some pictures real quick to my computer, so that I'm not like looking like a boomer being like, "Look at this photo on my phone, like into a camera." Okay, let's see. There's the serious face. There's this. Okay. No. It's all good. All right, hang on. Here we go. Let me just pull these. Now that I've sent these to my Google Drive, I can just grab these real quick. But J-Lo brings us in. They're setting up for the next thing. We're all hanging out. We're talking. And then I was like, "Yeah, so, blah, blah, blah." And then I was like, and then I'll be back in a little bit because Jack is going to is signing me in. Hey, JJ. Jack is signing me in for the Inside Gaming stream. And then J-Lo goes, "I don't think he's in today." And I was like, what do you mean? He just said yesterday that he was going to. What? Right? So he was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll tell you what, let's go talk to Braylon." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do," right? And so we go over. Wait, did I just send myself the same picture twice? Actually, hang on. Oh, I did. Oh well. That means I'm missing one, but it's actually one of the ones I think I put up on Twitter when I was like, "Hey, Lindblad." I was pretty certain he was going to be busy, but still, I was just letting him know, just in case. Gotta let the people know when you're there, right? So okay, let's see. Let me get these photos. 'cause I'm through being cool. Let's start with this one maybe. Nope, hang on. Let's start with the serious face one, I think, first, right? That's serious? Yeah. The only thing I got to figure out here real quick is opacity. Okay, here we go. Okay, so first. Whoops, whoa, that's gigantic. Why is that? Okay, come on now. Fit to screen, buddy. Okay, there we go. So there's this photo. There we go. So this is the one that we took first. So this is when he stole something from the set, from the Stinky Dragon set, and then he was just carrying it around, was taking pictures with folks, right? Don't dox your name on the badge there. Yeah, I know. So then what's great because like we took like 2 photos basically back to back, and he just immediately started laughing. So everyone got a serious face one, but I got one with a smile, which was good. Then let's see, what's this one? Oh no, hang on. That's the one where I was like a step too far back. Hang on. Well, let's go with this. Here's the photo that I sent to Jen to be like, hey, guess what? She was like, what? I did, in fact, work from the office on Thursday. From Thursday, like just from a couple days ago. When I was there with Christian. And I was like, hey, guess what? And she lost her mind. And like, again, here's the thing. I was figuring they were going to bring me in. I was going to work in like the like desk pool. But then when J-Lo was like, let me take you to go talk to Braylon. Braylon was just like, oh, we could clear off a little space over here. No, he did not. But also Christian doesn't work there in any capacity. So lovingly, fuck him. No, but it was great because then I got to do this. And so I also got to film something while I was there, which I won't share mostly because the sending myself the video with this internet would probably take 20 minutes. But I probably could at least do this. Hang on. I got to film BK and Griff doing something. So that was fun. Yeah, I worked out of the IG set, and it was great because then like, what's funny is that, even though I'm in the room because I'm trying to still clip and stuff like that, and because Jack then was there virtually, I had my headphones in. So sometimes I would hear them say something, but then I had to wait for it to hit me. And so at one point they said something to me and I went, and then I stood up and and so I donated money, and I think it's actually going to go to, I think either Extra Life or maybe just like something to get them set up for Extra Life or something. But I did that. So like I got to do a clip from inside the house. And so I was on the stream again. It's my 3rd Inside Gaming stream appearance. So, your boy is moving up in the world. And then right before the end of my shift, J-Lo, or right at the end of my shift rather, J-Lo was like, hey, I got to head out, but I have something for you. Because the off topic. No, that wasn't it. It was actually, I owed Jack $20 for letting me in, but then he didn't even let me in. And then I also didn't even have a 20, so I gave them more than that. Yeah. So, okay, actually, before I get to the final J-Lo thing, I wanted to point out that also, of all the people that were in the office and stuff like that I got to see, what's funny to me is Armando was surprisingly one of the people that was the most excited to see me, which was interesting. Like every single time I saw him, he would dap me up. Even like even after the name tag came off, he remembered my name once. So I guess I've made an impression. But then also Griff found out that I was going to be there and was like stoked. And so then Griff also was like really, really excited. And, we talked a good amount while I was there. Mondo rules. I do love Mondo. Andrew Rosas as well, like, because we've worked together before as well. He's been on Timeline Scavengers before. And so he also was like, hey, but like I was saying, finishing up stop you. That actually would be awesome. I'm going to be back. Well, I revealed too much so far. I mean, I'm going to talk about it, but still. So Off Topic is ending. Well, not ending, right? It has ended, right? And so like there was a lot of stuff that was just on the set that was being claimed and that was being taken away, right? So J-Lo was talking to me about that. I was like, oh, things are going. And then I was like, hey, nab me just like a little piece of the set. And J-Lo was like, what do you want? And just J-Lo sent me like photo after photo after photo of just like millions of things that were, just going to go away in some fashion. Either someone's going to take it or it's going to get tossed. So J-Lo grabbed something for me. And so I now have a new thing to put on my desk to hold pencils and pens and stuff. There you have it. This handy little ceramic mug that is most likely not dishwasher safe or anything like that. Probably actually couldn't actually drink from it. But and then I got it through airport security. I actually don't think it would have been an issue at all. I mean, it's just a ceramic mug. But I now have a little piece of Off Topic with me. So legally, I don't know where this can't. Did you really make that? No, you're joshing with me. I feel like you're messing with me. AK. Okay, I was like, I feel like you're messing with me. So yeah, so I have that. So that was great. Yeah, that would be wild. And could you imagine if you were like, "That's awesome. Could I get that back?" And I'd be like, "No." Oh yeah, no, I know for sure it is. Yeah, I mean, because it's not like, I mean this like. It's yeah. So yeah, so then J-Lo and I talked for a little bit. It was really funny because like we were like whispering, I thought. And then at one point, like the door to the IG office opens and Braylon sticks her head out and was like, and we're like deer caught in headlight, like, oh, should we be even quiet? Like, oops. So we started like whispering. Maybe it was just to make sure that I was still there. I don't know, because I guess my laptop was still in the room. And I was probably like, hello, don't leave that. But still, I got to work there and it was great because then on my way out, they were like, oh, we'll miss you. Right? Like it was good to see you. And then Griff was like, oh no, I can't believe you're leaving. And so then I was like, yeah, well, I'm going to be back. Because, hey, folks, breaking news. I was like, I'm going to be back for Extra Life. That's right, folks. Your boy's going to Extra Life. Part of the Mod Pod, going to be there for all 24 hours. And I'm just saying, during 1 hour, there might be someone that you recognize. It's Trevor. Trevor's in a segment. So I think it'd be really cool if you all see. It'd be really cool if you see Trevor. I don't know. He might be. Not for like any of the stuff that I would be going for, but no, I'm kidding. It is me. I don't know if I'm technically allowed to tell you that, but I think J-Lo is the only person that's watching that could tell on me or that would potentially tell me, and I don't think J-Lo would, because J-Lo and I are BFFs. Kind of assumed Trevor would be an extra life. Well, you never know. But oh God, I was going to tell you something. Hang on. No, okay. But yeah, J-Lo, don't tell me. No, but J-Lo and I also then had like a 20-minute hangout. It was great. It was so short, but right before my very last meeting, which I definitely didn't take in Austin. I'd never tell. I don't care enough. That's fair. Also, again, I don't think me telling people that like me telling you that I'm going to be there for sure is not against the rules. Telling you that I may or may not be on screen for something. Oh yeah, please do, JJ. So there's going to be like a lot of things going on. So I'm going to be going back. I've already told people at work, I'm going to reconfirm with them this week to be like, hey, just as a heads up, as a reminder, this is the last thing that I have on my calendar that I talked about beforehand. It's also during a time where there's nothing like scheduled, like event wise. So, I will be making sure that I have all of my work and stuff like squared away before I leave, that, no issues. Yeah, I got to set that stuff up soon. Well, no, I mean, I also think that like at the end of the day, like it's not interfering with anything or anything major. Like the only thing that could potentially at any point interfere with is depending on the time that I fly, I might miss one 30-minute meeting, but it's also like we do that weekly. If I miss just one, like it's also not something that I lead. It's just like, if I have something for it, I definitely need to be there. But I'm sure if I'm like, hey, I can't make it this week, I'm going to be flying. Cause the guy the whole reason that we have that meeting, he wasn't in town this week either. So like we had the meeting, but he wasn't there. My grocery store boss tried to stop me going to RTX last year because it was during holiday. Yeah, but I mean, also it's like, I'm like, this is also like a charity event, for children's hospitals. Like, you don't want me to go work a children's hospital considering I work for a youth organization? Whoa. Yeah, I know, Seth. I was pretty quiet about this one. Cause like, it's what we were talking about earlier tonight, right? Like I was saying to Jen and Katie and Adrian, when I first went live, I was saying that like, streaming and making content definitely recharges my batteries. Like this is my outlet, right? This is my thing, right? But my mental health was, to some extent, my mental health is still not amazing right now, right? Just because I'm still going through some of the most stressful things I've been through, kind of in my life. And it just feels like everything is sort of teetering on the edge. And like, I am like one major inconvenience away from probably having like a mental breakdown. But I also had a 3-hour drive, or not 3, it was like 2.5-hour drive last night after I landed, from my plane. And I did just straight up drive at least the first hour and 20 of that in pure silence besides the GPS. And I'm not someone who drives. Yeah, I know it was more like I've just wanted to reword it. But it's also like, it's tough, right? Cause like, I don't want to seem like I'm like fishing for compliments, but like, it's rare for my mental health to hit this low, right? It has happened only once this year to this level, which was in January when I first considered stopping making content. And hey, guess what? Guess what I did for the first 2 hours of today? Was contemplating whether or not I should stop making content, whether I should even ever go live again, ever at all. Because I was convinced No one gave a fuck. And except for Jen, to be clear. Like, I was like, I know Jen would be upset, but I didn't think other people would be. Because, and again, like, I want to point out, the next statement I'm going to make, right, is all about sort of, like when your mental health isn't great and sort of like what you're convincing yourself of, what you're telling yourself of. It doesn't mean that like it is true, right? But after the interaction that I had last night, that made me to the point where I was just driving in silence because I was secretly fuming. I felt as though at least one, if not 2 or 3 people should have recognized how upset I was. And they instead continued to play Fortnite instead of checking in. And that also was a little bit of a feedback loop for about 30 minutes. So, and then one person checked in, and I had to decide whether I was going to continue to let my mental health let me be mean, or if I was going to continue to do what I always do, which is not do confrontation, but also, hang on, what a song to be playing in the background. Let's skip that one. Let's also skip that one. That's a little aggressive. Just remember, 12 people chose to be here right now on a Saturday night. Well, I am very appreciative of those 12 people. But there should be at least 20 of you motherfuckers. I know which 8 of you are missing. I'm just kidding. I'm not taking attendance, right? Like, I'm pretty sure I remember everyone who has been here throughout the night. There could also be people lurking that I'm not sure of. I don't go in and look at the guest list, if you will. But I will point out the people who are failing me right now are, let's see, who has not shown up at all tonight? Christian, Maggie, Alex, Az, Alexa, Rachel. Well, the 2 of them are in Vegas, so that's okay. Some other folks who, well, there's a couple of folks where I also recognize why they might not be around for a bit too. But, or if ever. Because, hey, here's another thing about being an adult, is that sometimes miscommunication or whatever happens, and sometimes people decide they don't want to be your friends anymore. And that can suck, and that can hurt. Oh, also, Bethy's not here. But I'm also pretty certain Bethy's working, so like I'm not going to hold that against Bethy. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's one of the things that really sucks is like, because I've told the story before about my friend Michael, right? Not Michael Jones, different Michael. But I, was really, really close with this one dude. He was in all of the bands that I've been in. Oh, thank you so much, Cranch. I appreciate that. I genuinely do appreciate that. But Michael and I, when I first started doing like content creation, Michael was the guy who I was like, hey, we should be doing this, or we should consider this, or whatever. We are the ones that started everything, basically. Like, and like, I might not have ever done any of this when I pitched my idea for doing Let's Plays and doing all this sort of stuff, had he been like, no, I'm not interested, because that was my best friend. That he was one of my like 3 like very best friends in the world. It was like Bryn, who we're still very close. She's one of my exes actually. But we've been like BFFs since I was 16 years old. So literally half of my life. Austin Antoine, who is a friend of mine from high school, who, we have just always been, and we're still extremely close. We don't get to talk nearly as much as we used to, but it's also because we're both really stupid fucking busy. And he's making huge moves. So I'm extremely proud. And we get to catch up every couple of months or so. And it means a lot to me, right? That we still get to be a part of each other's lives. And that's also, again, part of the adult life is understanding that like maybe you can't talk to someone every single day, but that doesn't mean that you don't care about them, right? And sometimes it's nice to just be able to like be gone for a little bit, but then be able to just pick it up right where you left off, basically, as if you never stopped talking, right? And then also Michael was that third person. And when Michael just sort of ghosted our whole friend group, it was rough. It was unfortunate. It definitely hit me way more than it hit other people. And so I think about that sort of thing all the time, right? And like One More Time, when that music video came out, hit me in such a deep and powerful way, because One More Time was also hitting right around the time of Achievement Hunter coming to an end. And like, we both loved Blink-182. We both loved Achievement Hunter. We used to talk about at least 2 to 3 of the videos each week. You know, we would text back and forth about like having watched it, thoughts, you know, whatever. You know, or like, oh my God, please tell me you watched the Worms video, or please tell me you watched, you know, this, right? The GTA or whatever. And yeah, there was a lot of stuff that we were kind of like learning or appreciating or enjoying from them, right? And he was kind of like, I think really my first like major like Rooster Teeth friend, right? Like the person that I could talk to about Rooster Teeth content. And so like losing that friendship was pretty tough, right? And so it's, you know, something that you go through a few times, I think, in everyone's life. And there's a difference too between like the people that you went to high school with or that you go to college with, where you're like, we're going to be friends forever. And then like, you just literally never talk again. Sometimes that sort of thing just is like part of like the growing up process. I mean, specifically when people actively choose, like, I am now going to leave this friendship. I'm going to, to ghost you, or I'm going to unfriend you, or whatever, right? Like those sorts of things happen. And that sucks. There's no easy way to say that. But the other thing is that, like, for me, I don't wish any of the friends that I've lost in my life, I don't wish any of them ill will. Even the ex that, you know, that cheated on me and you know, was really, honest to God, one of the worst people, that treated me the worst that really anyone else ever has. I still, you know, hope that she's well and that she's doing okay, you know? You know, I think it's just, again, it's a part of the growing up process, and it sucks, but it's like one of those things where it's kind of like that. Like, you never really know when the good times are, right? Like, until they're gone often, right? Like, so it's like, okay, as an example, and to be very clear, I don't think that this one would ever happen, but let's just, you know, I'm going to use an example because I literally just saw him yesterday, right? The fact that J-Lo had like a gig and then was like, well, I'll just like, you're like kind of on my way home, so like I'll just come hang out even if it's only for 20 minutes, right? Like the fact that J-Lo made time for me just to like get a quick little coffee and then, you know, and then give me a hug and then, you know, say goodbye, right? Like that meant a lot. But it's also that thing of like, if for whatever reason, if J-Lo was like, hey, you know, I won't dox any of your work if you don't want me to. So the gig that he worked on Friday, right? If that particular show or production was like, hey, actually, we want to hire you full time and bring you out to where we normally shoot film and stuff like that, right? Like if tomorrow J-Lo is like, hey, actually, I'm leaving to move to this other state to film this other show, but like, you know, I'll see you around, and then never spoke to me ever again, like that would suck. That would hurt. But I would also like not fault him for getting busy and having his life take off. But if for whatever reason on Monday, J-Lo was like, hey, I'm taking this new job, and actually now that I am officially gone and know that I'll never see you again, I feel comfortable with being like, fuck you, right? I'd be like, whoa, what the hell, J-Lo? Like, what did I do? What happened? And he'd be like, you told too many stories about me on your Twitch, and I hated that. So I said, you're gone. He can't be sick of you if you're a rarity. Oh, you mean because I'm not there all the time kind of thing? And hey, you know what? That's a possibility. There are a lot of people in either in that office or just in my life that maybe are are like big fans or like enjoy me or like me simply because they don't have to see me every day. There's a strong possibility of that as well. Outside of Jen, I'm sure all of you at some point have been like, God, he's going live again. What the fuck? I can't do this, So there's a strong possibility of that. I get that. But, yeah, the thing is, okay, I really want to do, okay, very fast side note. I don't think Adrian is still here, is he? I haven't heard from him in a minute, but one of the big things that I wanted to do this weekend, because I'd be in the new place, even though it wouldn't be like set up all pretty and all nice, I wanted to have like, good lighting, and I wanted to have like good whatever. And I wanted to do the listen through of the new Blink album because it's been like 48 hours and I still haven't fucking done it because I said I was going to do it live on stream and react. His fans visit. Okay, gotcha. But my thing is like, is if I'm going to be in this house, I want to be able to potentially use it for content. You know what I'm saying? And I want to have like a better view than this. Like this sucks. This is, ugh, oh yeah, don't worry. I definitely will. And the other thing is I got to point this out too, right? Is I need the apartment spot. What is this house? This house is a friend of the family who has been letting me stay with them while I was looking for an apartment. I am fortunate that, they, okay, here's the funny thing, right? Like, I struggle with money. I don't have anything, right? They are well off. This is their home, but they're out at their second home in Cape Cod. Like, they're doing fine for themselves, right? So like, I have the house all to myself right now, which is great. And also, by the way, I might real fast. I like how you said check out his new digs, and I was like, wait, but I'm not at the new apartment yet. That's so funny. Wait a minute. That guy named J-Lo shared a story an hour ago. Oh, why did that get me like emotional? Okay, hang on. I don't want to dox your kid. But J-Lo posted like a little boomerang of him holding up the baby and just sort of, oh. Oh, it's very cute. That is so cute. I love that. Okay. What I might do is, by the way, since I had a very kind donation, just so I'm not living off of, because I also remember how I was like, oh, I'm living off ramen and cereal. I did eat the last ramen for at least for today. Like, it's not like that's all that I have, but like, or that I will have. But all that's left in the house currently is cereal. So I might actually order a little bit of something. Just like real quick. What can I get quickly? And cheaply. Maybe just Taco Bell or McDonald's. I for sure am not going to be doing anything fucking crazy. We just need to make sure that we're getting a meal in that maybe actually has like a decent amount of protein. That might be nice. Oh, don't tempt me with cookies. That's not healthy. That's not good. Wait, hot chicken. Hang on now. What's the hot chicken sandwich looking like? Oh my God. For $18, I can get 2 sandwiches and fries. Whoa. That's insane. But then one of the other combos is sandwich and 1 singular tender. But the sandwich is not even that less expensive. I'm just going to, okay. Okay. I'm going to get, oh no, don't do that, Dorkrim. Fuck it. Do. Can I specifically say no pickles? Fuck. That's going to be a problem. I do not want pickles on my sandwich. I got bad news. I'm not going to be able to do this because if I can't, like, I need to be able to tell them no pickles. I am such an avid anti-pickle guy. I don't think I don't. I can't do it. Okay, chicken though. We'll still look at chicken. Is there anyone else that has hot chicken in this area? Probably not. We're not in like the Nashville area, you mean? Listen, hey, Greenwich, to be clear, I don't care if you like pickles. As much as I'll be like, you're wrong if you like, no, whatever. I really don't care. My thing is if there's like a pickle like with like a sandwich or whatever, I'll be like, you can have mine. But the thing is that I don't like the taste. And so when you put it in a sandwich and it's hot, it just seeps into it. So even if you take the pickles off, it still has the pickle taste. And I don't want that. So it's nasty. So I'm like, no, if I can't order it without it, you know what I mean? Okay, I am curious. I do want to know, why is Nocturnal Cookies showing up under chicken? There's not a single thing here that is chicken. Why the fuck is this here? What? This is okay. What a weird thing. Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of like when as Christian and Brooke and I hung out, like everyone gave Christian their sandwiches. Chicken is gross. What the hell, Dorkrin? Have you lost your goddamn mind? What are you talking about? I also miss Brooke. I have told you this before. I don't think you have. Or if you did, I have fully forgotten. I apologize. What if I just did like a... Oh wait, Chipotle's definitely not open anymore. Because I should look at something that is like better, like, you know, better macros, if you will. my Good shit. Okay. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do Taco Bell and do like a... Oh, JJ had Chipotle? What the hell? My mom worked at KFC. Oh, that's right, you did. I get that. There's definitely like healthier things on the Taco Bell menu. I know it sounds crazy to say, to be clear, but I remember one time, I don't remember who did it, but someone one time covered like what place is like just overall like one of the healthier places. And it's like, if you look at like the ingredients, like the mixtures that you're getting, Taco Bell's actually surprisingly decent. And then also with certain things like the Cantina meals, you're definitely getting much healthier food. It's still fast food, but it's definitely better. I also hate turkey, except for like Thanksgiving. I think that's different, obviously, but like I don't like deli turkey. It just doesn't taste nearly the same to me, and I feel like it's weird. An Irish car bomb, singing this song. I take another look, and that guy is me. Buzz me back 6 a.m. Wait, did they get rid of the Cantina meal? What the fuck? Wait, bowls. Powerball. That's what I'm looking at. Well, maybe I won't do this tonight. It is 11:56. Maybe I'll just live with the cereal and then I'll get some tomorrow. Okay, hang on. I'm trying to think if there's anything else like story-wise that I needed to catch people up on. What is some of the stuff that I would typically kind of catch you guys up on, or stories that I might tell you about that I haven't had an opportunity to catch you up on? That cheese in the green container. Hey Ash, can you explain what cheese you're talking about? Because I do not know what you're talking about. Like that's like a green lid usually. Oh, Parmesan? Also, if you're getting it from the green container, that's not real Parmesan. Hey, Italian American here, letting you know that ain't the real deal. That stuff, that's not it. There is good Parmesan in this world, I promise you. That reminds me, I'm not sure if you know this, but you can go to Olive Garden and buy the cheese grater that they use. And then you can get like chunks of like good cheese and put that in and like, force it. A good cheese grater and like good cheese. But you can just go into any Olive Garden, even if you're not like, I don't like Olive Garden. Doesn't matter. You can get the good. Yeah. Yeah, that's who I saw, JJ. I saw Jordan, but like he does like the Stitch with the original, and yeah, God, I love that guy. I had dinner at an Italian restaurant in Little Italy here in San Diego. Oh, sorry, don't want to dox. And their salad turned me on to Caesar dressing. I do enjoy. Hey, I have a secret for you about Caesar dressing, but I need to know like. I need to know. I didn't say South Dakota. I said San Diego. I need to know how much you don't want Caesar dressing to be ruined for you. Because I can tell you something about one of the ingredients that's in it that I think would make a lot of people actively decide. Well, that was it. That was the thing, AK. Yeah, it does have anchovies in it. Caesar salad dressing has anchovies. I love that I was like, I need to know if you guys don't want it to be ruined, because like if not, like I'll give you a warning or what, right? And AK was just like, I'm gonna let you know. Is about you. Um, One second. I got distracted. I was looking at food still, even though I was like, I'm not gonna get it. I immediately still kept looking at food. I really should stop looking at food because it's just gonna make me hungry. And then when I go and eat that cereal, it's not gonna hit the same. um. Insane. I still dream the salad. I mean, a good freshly made dressing is pretty sick, right? Like, it's very good. Um, Nothing. You don't want to know, Jen. It's gonna ruin something for you. So let's just not do it. Okay, Dorkrin. Oh, yeah. Oh, Jen, do you like anchovies? Um, the prepackaged salad dressing packets is the thing I'm hating the most in the clink. That's pretty funny. Okay. Oh, dummy. Hang on 1 second. Studio mode. How are we doing on? Can't get the controller out of the. Okay. Now here's a question. Let's do this here. Um, anyway, sorry, I'm setting stuff up. I don't know. Will I game at all tonight? Probably not. Wait, what cookies? People disagreed on cookies? Oh, not here. No, I should have Az send me that sound clip though. I mean, like once you get there, I can just make sure that Az sends me that sound clip. Marching out of time to my own beat now. The only way I know. Flashing in the dark, blinded by the silence of 1,000 broken hearts. For crying out loud, she screams under me. Um, so yeah. Also, wait a minute, Dorkrin. What the hell? At here. Why are you letting the people know? I'm kidding. It's okay. It's funny, like again, like it's that thing where I was like, I need to sort of rejuvenate my battery, right? And like feel like a full-fledged person again, in order to stream. And like this is sort of what makes me feel that way. Cause I would definitely argue I made the major red flag announcement that oatmeal. I mean, those aren't okay. Look, I'm glad that you like those, Dorkrin, because it means that when there is a party pack mix, you will eat those and leave my precious chocolate chip like untouched. So it's fine. It works out beautifully, baby. Oatmeal cookies are great. To me, though, oatmeal raisin, it's the raisin that's a step too far. You know? Perfect. That sounds good. Okay. Oh yes, Ash. Okay. When I was in high school, there was this family who, I mean, there's no way around it. There was this family. There was this little Mormon family. Well, they weren't little, right? But there was this Mormon family that that was in my school, and two of them were in the music department. And for the most part, their family was, honest to God, pretty insufferable, except for one of them. And she was genuinely such a kind person, but she also was kind of like openly like, yeah, I don't fully like believe in all of these things, or like, you know, like I kind of have like my own, you know, whatever, like I'm sort of, you know, march to the beat of her own drum kind of thing. Right. But what she did do was make like maybe every other month or every 3 months kind of thing, she would make these cookies that were, oatmeal something chocolate chip. And she would make these just gigantic bags of them. And I mean, it was like she had to have spent like all weekend doing it. Right. But like one of the best things about it was that if she like really liked you, like if she thought you were great, she would make you an entire bag to yourself, like for your birthday. And so every year for 3 years, because she was 1 year above me. So thank you for the follow, Sophia. So every year for 3 years, I got just this, I mean, like a gallon size bag of, I'm good. How are you? Happy Saturday, or I hope you're enjoying your Saturday. She would give me these just giant bags of cookies, and it was like, they were so good. And like, it was something that like, I do stream pretty regularly. I have not been recently because I've been going through a move. I'm actually not even in my new apartment yet. But I typically stream 3 times a week. You know, situations allowing, obviously, like sometimes travel or whatever happens. But this is my first stream kind of coming back just because, if you say, can I don't know what you mean. I'm doing pretty good with my stuff, but I appreciate it. My old job had these ginger molasses cookies. So good. That does sound really good. Greenwich. I'm actually, like molasses, like things to me, are frequently underrated. And also, again, I appreciate it, but you know, I don't really do promo here. So anyway, he always cooks them too long, so then they get hard. Oh, that's a shame. I do love like a good like molasses. So there was also someone that I went to college with that would make these like almost like ginger snaps, but they were like ginger molasses snaps. Great. They were great. Okay, everyone hold that thought for just 1 second. I am going to get some water. I am actually quite thirsty. So give me 1 moment here. Let me put a this thing on. I'm recognizing how dry my throat is. I'll be right back. Good song to leave you on, though. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. I also had to. Double check the temperature because here. Hang on. Like here in this seat and some of that, like near all the electrical equipment and with this light on me, it's, it's not like hot or anything like that, but it's warmer. And then when I walked 3 feet that way, I was like, it is freezing in this house. So I just had to go double check the temperature too. It's also, honest to God, I think maybe one of the slowest water dispensers I've ever seen on a fridge. It's sad how many times my brain kept going couch, 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 couch. And I was like, it's not a couch. I love Samoas and I love Thin Mints. I like the shortbread ones, which I don't remember which ones because all of them have double names because there's 2 different manufacturers. Which is also why, by the way, Samoas are great. The Caramel Delights are not nearly as good. Like, there is a major difference between those 2. They look the same. They do not taste the same. Do you do the Thin Mint frozen? Ooh, I do freeze some of them. Sometimes I don't. But it's also like, hey, you know what? I feel like we've had this discussion before. Pop-Tarts, right? Some flavors are really good in the freezer. Some of them are great only toasted. Some of them are good just by themselves, just normal. Just like raw dog in life, you know? Okay, so here's what the s'mores must be toasted. I do agree with that. The s'mores frozen is decent, but it's just not nearly as good as it toasted, obviously. I remember the first time they did this or made this announcement was when they made I think it was like a hot fudge sundae flavor. And then they were like, hey, have you tried it frozen? And everyone was like, what the hell are you, what? Since when was this good? It was nuts. I don't usually do Thin Mints frozen, but that's because hard cookies are nasty to me. That's fair. I do love a good soft, chewy cookie. Oh my God. Hey, you know what? I didn't get to talk to you all about this on stream because it happened after I stopped streaming in New Orleans. Guess what happened the day that I picked up Az from the airport? We are on our way back from the airport. We grab a little bite to eat. We're grabbing some Raising Cane's, right? And as we're sitting in the drive-thru, I get a text message notification that says, hey, be sure, your light is on your porch because a, DoorDash delivery is on its way to you. And I was like, well, I didn't order anything, so that's concerning. So I opened the text message. It's, again, one of those automated ones. And they're like, your order from Insomnia Cookies is on its way. And I was like, what the hell? I had no clue. And we were like, who sent these cookies? We could not figure it out. And I remember I texted someone. I don't remember who I texted, but like I was thinking to myself, I know it wasn't Maggie because the 2 of us had actually been on the phone with Maggie prior to that. And she refused to let me refuse her paying for our dinner. So she had Venmo'd me for our Raising Cane's. So I was like, there's no way she Venmo'd me and sent cookies, right? And I was like, this is nuts, right? So it was this thing where they were like, oh, they're going to be there at 12:30, right? Well, we were getting to my apartment at 12:20. And we literally walked into the house. We were sitting down at the table that was like right by the front door. And we had not even opened our boxes yet. Like the little combo boxes, right? We were like, we sat down and we're like just putting the stuff on the table, handing out napkins. And then my phone buzzes and it's like, your order has been delivered. So I got there 10 minutes early. And that means that if we had gotten home like a minute or two later, we would have been walking up the stairs as the guy was coming like down the stairs kind of thing, right? And it was crazy. And so I walk outside and it's not a box of cookies. It is 2 boxes with a tag on it that says buy 1 dozen, get another one for $1, which what the fuck kind of combo is that? That is a steal, by the way. But it was from my mom. My mom sent us 2 dozen cookies and we continued to eat those cookies for the rest of the trip. So like we ate some that night. We ate some the next day. We ate some on the day that we left and we ate some on Sunday. We finished them on Sunday. Yeah, we probably collectively both had, I think I had a couple more than Az because at one point we lost the second box to like stuff that was in the backseat, just like it kind of slipped. And then there was like 3 left over. So I probably had like, I don't know. I probably had like 14 of the 24, but still, it was great. It was very great, and I was very appreciative of my mom doing that. It was very kind. But it's also just one of those things where it's like, I don't think there's anything like that here. Although I guess a second ago I was reading out something from another brand. Hang on. I did say that there was something kind of nearby. I'm curious. I'm not going to buy anything from them because, like, I need to be saving my money, and I don't need to be eating that way. But, oh my God, there's a halal hero place. Yes, please. Also, the kebab zone looks fucking bomb. That looks awesome. Okay, there's a place called Nocturnal Cookies. And like, they don't necessarily look like insane, but like those still look good. Those do look freshly baked. Same old Gary. Thank you for following. There's some stuff in here. There's some ice cream sandwich. Those are like handmade. That's pretty neat. What the hell? Craver Savor. How many cookies are there in this? Because it's $26, so it's got to be a shit ton of cookies. 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 cookies. What the fuck? Hello, Gary. Hope you're having a good Saturday, good weekend. There's also oven-baked bacon bone pieces. Oh, it's for dogs. Thanks to Dorkham for my sub gift. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you for 2 months of the 3-month gift sub. The closest cookie place to me is Crumble, and to be honest, I don't like their cookies that much. Crumble is not like my favorite, but you want to hear another story about my mom being like sweet and adorable? Is in a podcast episode from like, I don't know, November or December of 2022. We had covered a surprise party happening on some kind of show. And so I had mentioned that I had never had a surprise party growing up, right? Like, whether it was like parents organizing or none of my former partners have ever done like, you know, like a special, like, you know, oh, surprise, actually, like all your friends are actually here. It's not just dinner for us. It's like, you know, your cousins are in from out of town, all that other stuff, right? And so I had mentioned that, and I just said that like it wasn't necessary, right? I was just like, it's not something that I'm like, I've been dying to have one, right? But like as a kid, I remember seeing it in so many TV shows that I just thought it was way more common than it really ever was, because I wasn't invited to any either, right? Like I think the only like surprise party really that that I was ever a part of was like my dad graduated from his doctoral program, and to be clear, not like, you know, like, hang on, let me hear your heart, like doctor of music, right? His DMA, Doctorate of Musical Arts. But like when he did that, like I think he initially thought that it was going to be like afterwards he was going to go out to dinner with his parents and my mom and me. And secretly it was like all of his friends and family basically were in town. You know, we had like rented out like actually like the whole joint kind of thing. And so that was like a thing where then when he walked in, everyone was like, surprise. I don't think we even said surprise. I think we're all just like, hey, like, you know, clap, clap, clap. And he was like, what? Right. But like, that's the only one I ever, you know, was a part of. And that's fine. Right. Like, again, it wasn't like a necessary thing. It's just like, it reminds me a lot of John Mulaney, right? John Mulaney saying that, you know, as a kid, he used to believe quicksand was a much larger problem than it is. Right. I used to believe that, surprise parties were way more common than they actually were. And so then a few days after my birthday, I was supposed to have a meeting about bringing back a show like out of like its hiatus. What's funny is that we still to this day have not had that meeting and we never brought it back because they chose to secretly push back the meeting by saying, yeah, we'll for sure meet you on that day. Right. And I was like, great, that sounds like a plan. And so I was like, hey, here's a link to this thing that we're using for the show. And they're like, oh, actually, we have a Zoom link already. And I was like, you have a Zoom link? That was weird because like I was the one that has the paid account for the company for Scavenger. So I was like, so they couldn't have used that. So who is making one that was going to have enough, people on it, right? And so I was like, okay, that's weird. So I joined this Zoom link and it was like almost everyone from the network was there with like a, surprise birthday card kind of graphic kind of thing up. So it was like a bunch of my Scavengers friends and then like my mom. And basically my mom had reached out to James, my co-host, and Morgan, my vice president, and they organized this thing, got it off the ground, and then they had ordered and sent me a thing of crumble cookies. And I've had crumble cookies before, and that's why I'm finally getting to the point of this story. And that was to say that I don't know if it was because it was a surprise or if it's because I actually got flavors that I actually enjoyed. But I've definitely gone to crumble before and been really let down. But I've also had some crumble cookies that I was like, these are fucking good, dude. Honestly think if someone threw me a surprise party, I'd turn around and walk out. I need to know I'm dealing with humans before I have to. That's fair. I mean, like, that's the thing, right? Dorkin is like, I feel like this is where my life is, I don't know what the word for it is, tumultuous or whatever, right? I am an extrovert, but I have anxiety. So I'm an extrovert with introvert, not capacities, what it's called? Tendencies. So like, for example, doing something like this, I feel fine because people are kind of behind a screen. So there's a lot more anonymity. And there's a lot of different things that I can kind of work around. All right. And like, again, if I go to a party or if I go to a thing where it's like, I know most of the people or I know I'm going to know folks, it's not nearly as concerning. Going somewhere when it's my first time, especially if I'm not going to know anybody, it's frightens me. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask of me. Which is also sometimes tough for like a place like with what I do for work and everything like that, because I really don't know anyone here. Right. So, and I have like no networks, no connections. So when I'm walking into a place for the first time, I'm always like, hi, I'm new here. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk to you or like, and I feel like I'm so like, I'm not a threat. I'm normal. I'm fine. But also I don't really want to have to talk to you, but I know I have to, so it's tough. But at the same time, right? Like if you put me in like a larger social group or like a social setting, especially a place where I'm not like comfortable or don't know people, I will probably be pretty quiet and pretty subdued to the point where like I might not even talk at all, right? At first. But once that seal is broken, like as you can tell by me streaming, you can't get me to shut the fuck up. So, that's when the extrovert fully kind of comes out. Okay. God, I wish I wasn't such a loud. I don't know what it is, but my gullet is just so loud. I have thrown surprises for friends, but only if I know they are someone who enjoys them. That is another reason why I like surprising Jem, because I do know that she enjoys surprises. And also not like in a sadistic way, right? Like obviously like I mean this like in a like heartwarming, genuine, like happy spot, right? I love seeing Jen like happy and like Jen crying because of like something that like is like touching or like beautiful or whatever to her makes me very happy. Also, hang on a second. I need to double check something. Is this not working? One moment. Troubleshooting. Okay. I just looked up and realized that there was something that should say that it's live and it doesn't. Everyone hold that thought. Fall in my arms again. Okay. Let's try this. Are you scared of the dark, my friend? Oh, will you fear my love? Okay. Authentication complete. Connect. Okay. There it is. Hello, Lopez. Welcome in. Good to see you. Okay, 1 second. Let me see if this works now. Oh, failed to send a message. Are you connected with the account you're trying to send the message from? What the hell? Okay, hang on. Let's try it from here. Did you all hear that? That should have worked, right? Is this thing back online?
I love the gays.
I threw up.
Perfect. Okay, good. Also, hey, don't forget to use your 1 point, redeem your Hey Besties.
Bark! My mic is not picking it up. I promise I'm barking. Bark!
Hey, besties.
What a great
Hey,
kid.
besties.
The Yippee Shark? Okay,
Hey,
well, now I need to
besties.
see the Yippee Shark.
Hey, besties. Hey, besties.
Thank you for all the Hey Besties. Wait, they showed me the Yippee Shark? Oh, you meant they showed it to you. Okay, sorry, my bad. Yeah, the bark also. Oh, check Discord. All right, hang on. Okay, hang on. I don't know what I was expecting. Jedediah, using your privileges for good, but that's good. You look like you're about to tell us a horror story, bestie. Piece of shit? What? Did you just call me a piece of shit? No, hang on. Where the fuck is my photo thing? I don't know what I was expecting. It was certainly not this. It's pretty funny. Positive. Oh. Listen, for me, POS. No, you were nice. I'm sorry. I'll tell you this, Lopez, you did miss all the bad stories from earlier. I did give some updates on life and things that were happening that were pretty. Yeah, Dorkin, that was the next thing. For me, it's always piece of shit, point of sale, and then anything else, right? Tell me you've worked a register before, right? Without telling me. It's when you look at POS and go, point of sale. Yeah, so again, I know I really didn't advertise this stream. And I think that Ash, Katie, Jen, Adrian would all be able to tell you that when I started the stream, I was why would I call you POS for no reason? That's fair. That's fair. You're actually a very nice person, so you would not do that. And I mean that sincerely. There are some people that I think would do that, but the big thing for me though, right, is when I started this off, my mental health is still not good, right? But my heart and my energy were just so low, but at the same time I was streaming does make me happy. So when I started off the stream, if you go back and you watch the VOD, you're going to watch me in real time sort of recharge my battery. You know what I mean? I think he might be saying that Christian is a bad influence because Christian is a bad man. Which is funny for me to say because I literally just took a 24-hour trip with the man. Why does my brain fill in POS as point of sale? Because you've worked a register, right? Am I incorrect on that, Dorkrin? That's it. Okay. Is that what that was, Lopez? I don't know. But I haven't for years. It should go away, right? Well, listen. You think that, but like I swear, I have not been in marching band nor okay, hang on. I haven't taught marching band because I taught marching band I was a marching band instructor for years after I was in marching band. But when I was an instructor, the last time I did that would have been 2014. So it's been like 9 or 10 years, but I still sometimes in the back of my head, I can still just randomly hear a phantom Dr. Beat ping. So I feel like that kind of stuff never, no one was being mean to me today, Lopez. But people have been mean to me during a time where, again, my mental health was at an all-time low, and it hit pretty heavy. Thank you for calling Family Video. My name is Brent. Oh, no, that doesn't sound right. How can I help it? Here's a great story for you about answering the phones. I probably told this before, but a long time ago, when I was working for I could probably say it, right? Like, I think enough time has passed. I left that company 7 years ago. So, and in fact, we're getting close we're closer to 8, I think, at this point than we are to 7. Well, we can always fight those though. Who are they? No, it was, it was Adrian and Katie, but, still, no, but what was I saying? Well, sorry, I should be specific. And Maggie, but Maggie apologized. So I chose not to be mad at her. The other two, I was like, okay, Fortnite's more important now. But it's okay. It's all good. Again, I think it was just all misunderstanding, miscommunication. Again, I was also at a mentally just dreadful little spot. And it was just to them, it was obviously something super tiny, but it was just enough that it hit, just the wrong way. So anyway, no, but when I was working at a company called Music and Arts, which is under the umbrella of Guitar Center, right? Guitar Center is definitely more like rock and roll. And then, and maybe a little bit a jazz and DJing kind of stuff. But the Music and Arts is basically hey, do you want to be in an orchestra, in symphonic band? Yeah, there's some guitars and basses and stuff like that too. But the main focus is also very clearly school classroom instruments. Because one of their biggest things is back to school season. They do rental instruments for a strong majority of the country. They are still to this day the leading lesson provider in the United States of America. Funny enough, beating out Guitar Center, their own parent company. But I think it's also because there's so many kids in school for band and stuff like that versus a kid who's I want to be in the next Green Day, right? Green Day is only three people, right? But when you're in a symphonic band, there's at least 4 clarinets, right? There's at least 4 trumpet. In fact, there's usually way too many. There's a lot of French horn players. There's at least 1 tuba player. So those things, add up. But I was working at Music and Arts on Christmas Eve. And so it was, at the time I was an assistant manager, which is one of those things where like, it was never an official title. I don't know if they finally added that role or not, but like, it was very clear at every store that there was one, because there was definitely the person who, like, if the manager wasn't there, who was the person that you went to. And it wasn't like well, there's 2 or 3 full-timers, like any of them. No, there was always someone that was like very clearly, and it's like, basically I was like in that moment, kind of in the throes of being trained to become a manager myself anyway. Right. But Christmas Eve, and in the store was me, assistant manager, then store manager, then the regional manager, the district manager, and then the regional manager, right? So we had like 4 people. Like, these are people who are all, again, climbing that corporate ladder kind of situation, right? They were all in our store. There's like 2 hours left in the business day before we're going home. And I've been answering phone calls all day. Good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Colin. How can I help you, right? Good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Colin. How can I help you, right? Like, all that, right? Picking up the script, doing the, or not picking it up, but like mentally picking up, doing the, and just for whatever reason, right? We're all sitting around, we're talking about our plans for the next couple of days. Well, and like, yeah, how have they been? And it's like, oh, get it. Yeah. Good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Christmas. And it took everything in me not to just immediately go and just immediately hang up. I called myself Christmas, and everyone laughed. The person on the phone, and the 3 people around me, and then even myself, because I was like, well, that's a little ridiculous. Yeah, just like, I was Santa. I was like, I was Father Christmas. Good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Christmas. And so for a long time, I would get that, like, someone would be like, this is Christmas to me. And I'd be like, okay, yeah. Although it's so funny, for a long time, I also used to pride myself in being able to replicate every single person that I worked with, like, their answer, right? Because I would try and change mine up a little bit, right? I didn't have a pattern necessarily. Sometimes it was, good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Colin. How can I help you? Or how can I help you, right? Like, good afternoon, Music and Arts. Sorry, or good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Colin. How can I help you? Right? Like, you would just change it up a little bit, right? But Grant was always, good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Grant. How can I help you? Right? Just a little lower, very little modulation. Katie was always, good morning, Music and Arts. This is Katie. How can I help you? Right? Matt was always, good morning, Music and Arts. Like, it was a good, right? This is Matt. How can I help you? Right? But then, oh, wait, hang on. I got to do Tommy. Tommy wasn't there long, but he would go, good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Tommy. How can I help you? He just had such a quiet little voice. But, like, it wasn't like he was trying to be, seductive or anything. It was just, good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Tommy. Just like such a like little, like kind of little warm blanket. And then there was Sarah. I love Sarah. Sarah's great. I talk with most of them, actually, still to this day, at least once or twice a year. But Sarah, love her to death. Sarah, because she was very Valley girl, right? And when we first started working with her, she was in high school, and she worked there during high school, after school, and then, I mean, obviously, like, not during school. Then she worked there for a little bit during college, and then she left. And she's now a nurse, and she's fucking kicking ass at the hospital that she's at. But she would always go, good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Sarah. Good afternoon, Music and Arts. This is Sarah. And so sometimes she would hate it because, like, when I became a manager, I actually was not the manager of that location. So I would, she should be healing ass, not kicking it. Yeah. Fair assessment. So one of my favorite things to do is if I would call that store while she was working, I would hear like the little pickup, and I would hear the good afternoon. I would go, noon, this is Sarah. Like I would do it with her basically. And she would go, stop it. What is it? Like, what do you want? But like, she wasn't like actually angry about it. Like we were very good friends. Let's see, who else did I work with? Because I worked with a lot of people. That company had a lot of turnaround, especially in the state of Maryland, because it was the state that the home like headquarters was. And so that meant two things. One, there was a lot of pressure on Maryland and Virginia, unlike a pressure that you would find in any of the other places, because if something was going wrong or if they needed to fix something or whatever, they could just drive an hour or two down the road to one of the local stores, right? But like they were never going to go to South Carolina. They were never going to go out to like any of the California. They rarely did that, right? So, you know, you had like that kind of situation. Hang on one second. Now, where is this guy going? So I did, by the way, I did in fact actually still order food. And this person is definitely going the wrong way. Which I think they have figured out because they have stopped in the middle of another road. This is incredible to watch. I think they fucked up. Anyway, let's see, who else did I work with? So like I worked with so many people, again, because of all that turnaround. And also because of the headquarters were there, a lot of people moved up the chain, right? Into the head office, right? So over my time there, I worked with Hannah, who actually has climbed the corporate ladder so much that she's now at Guitar Center, and is like one of the like directors of like a specific department. And she's incredible, like easily one of the best people I've ever worked with. There was Dee. She was the manager of the Arundel Mills store for a long time. There was Peter. Oh my God, I loved Peter. Peter was great. Peter eventually became the manager of one of the Seattle stores. He was great. Steven ended up moving up to the Ellicott City store. Also, the store that I was in was also literally called the Training Grounds. A lot of the times, if you could be successful in that store, because it was also called the Toy Box, because it was really small. So they always said that, like, you know, if you could successfully, you know, do stuff there, then you were golden. Okay, what the fuck is happening? Did this person just decide to go home instead of pick up my order? Like, why the fuck have they gone down this road that's not even that far away from me, and they're just sitting in the middle of the road? This is fascinating to watch. Okay. I mean, I don't think anyone here cares about all the different people that I've worked with, but I think it's also like interesting to like think about the different people that you've interacted with over your life, you know, like just, and like how different people can be. Once worked a couple of times, like really like events really with this one guy named Bruce, who was like, had been in the company for like 40 years, and I'm not even kidding. Like he was, like in his late 60s, and he had started when he was in his 20s, and he was definitely making like a good amount of money. And he was kind of the car salesman of the company. Like he used to just, he was, if I'm honest, he was a little sleazy. I did not like the way he operated. But I also can't deny that the man sold a lot of shit. So I know his commission checks were fucking fat. You know what I mean? Let's see. Who else did I work with? Grant, I've already mentioned. Grant was easily my best friend at that company. I love that guy. Andy was great. Andy and Alec were guys who were in a band together that I used to do gigs with. Like, and when I say that, like, I mean, like, their band would be on, like, the billing, and so would my band. Then after a while, that one band that I was in did break up and called it quits, but their band kept going. And so I was really good friends with quite a few of them, because I'd also gone to college with some of them. Or at least when I first went to college and ended up not liking that school. But the point still stands, right? So like, I had gone to college with a couple of them. I knew a lot of them for like almost 10 years kind of thing, you know? So like anytime I went to their shows, I was kind of like a VIP to some extent. And they were really growing. They were doing so much. They were doing so many great things. And then it was incredible to watch their lead singer fucking piss it all away. Like, they had truly, like, especially for the style of band they were, which is a ska band. Do you know what it takes to make it in this day and age as a ska band? Because there's only like 4 big ones left. The rest of them are like probably like some of them are probably making by, but they're not like, you know, like a couple of them are. But like they were climbing the ranks. They were doing all the Vans Warped tours. They had crowdfunded this one album that was pretty successful. They had just really done so many great things. And then just the lead singer kind of got a little bit too big for his britches, you know? His head got a little too big, and the way he treated that band and his bandmates and what they were doing, and, you know, how he was operating the band, because their manager left because she was moving across the country. And then he was like, well, maybe I'll be the manager now. Rarely should someone in the band manage the band, because there are all sorts of, I don't know, complications or mixed interests, right? And yeah, man, like it went down the drain, and it went down the drain so fast. And it was one second. I feel like this person is lost. This person is lost. This person is moving past me. Hang on. This is going to be fun to watch. Spooky game was not spooky. What was the spooky game? Oh, yeah. Hang on. Where's the Epic game thing? Epic Games Launcher. Oh, I think they finally figured it out. Discover. Hang on. The Evil Within free now, and then next week. Oh, 1 second. Hello? No. No problem. So it is on one of those little side tables. I have the light on outside. It's when the house is on. It's when the first house is on. Okay. Sorry. This is incredible. I now know why it took them a second to get here. This is awesome. Hang on. This is such a good story. Let me get my headphones on first. Folks, when I went out there to grab the food, she was like, I'm so sorry that I'm late. She's like, I needed to take a quick little trip because her son was at someone else's house and was in trouble. So he was sitting in the front seat. Just so funny to me. I was like, hey, I get it. Being a parent's tough. You know, I was like, my kid's usually pretty good, but sometimes I'm like, hey, what are you thinking? I'm kidding. I've never said that about Jen. I didn't do that. But can you imagine? Wait, hang on. Wait, guys. Hang on. Yes, I'll be right back. Hang on. He went out to buy milk. Just went to get milk. Hang on. Guys, why did my dad leave? I was grabbing food. This is thank you to you so that I don't have to eat only cereal tonight. I was gone for like not even a minute. No, actually, I do have milk here. Would you like me to go pick up the milk and show you? It's in the fridge. Oh, there's the straw. Interesting. Just, you know, sometimes when you get like Taco Bell and no, you're shitting me. Oh, thank God. Okay. I thought that fell out of the bag. Hang on. That was insane. It kind of did, but it's fine. I need to be very specific. I have never once left Jen. I have not and would not leave my kid behind. I walked like not even 20 feet away from where I'm sitting. I went to the front door. I just went to the front door. Okay, sorry, Jem. I'm sorry that I was gone for 60 seconds. What did you need? Oh, Outlast Trials? I mean, I feel like that's probably scary. Because, like, Outlast terrified the fuck out of me. Now, did she ask for me, or did she say, why has my dad left? There's no napkins in this fucker. Are you serious? Okay, do I have your permission to go get some napkins? Are you gonna freak out if I just go a couple feet over here into the kitchen to grab some napkins? Okay, thank you, Dorkram. So, Jen, I'm still here. I'm just getting napkins. So, I don't know if you can hear me, but I feel like if I yell, you will. So, I guess it's not really napkins, it's paper towels, but I am I'm right here. I'm not gone. There we go. Not my object permanence. Anyway, I have never abandoned Jen, and I never would. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. When I tell you that I love Jen more than pretty much every single living family member that I have. I mean that. Like, I think like my mom is probably the only person that I would say, you know, ekes it out a little bit. It Follows is a terrifying movie. I don't really care about the dead. No, but I will say my grandfather was not me, Katie. It's been nice and quiet. Okay, hang on. I don't know if because I think at one point he may have changed the music video. So I was telling a story earlier, by the way. Hang on. About a band. Yep, it's this song. Okay, hang on. And we did so many shots. And so here's what happened. So when the band was having all of its issues and was getting close to breaking up, right after the tour, or during the tour, really, the two trombone players in that band were like, we're out. Right? Like, we don't want to be in this thing anymore, right? Hang on, let me switch to this other account here. So they were like, well, some of them do. Yeah. Again, it's a ska band. So when they left and chose to not be in the band anymore, that meant that when they went to do the music video for this one song, they needed a trombone player. I own a trombone I used to play. So I learned how to play the song, or at least the last half of it, because that's the only part where we were playing as a band. And we did all of these shots, and we did all of these things. And then we also did a lot of shots of us as the band. So like I was in the band, for the music video. And then his creative choices decided to cut basically all of that footage and just basically use only footage of himself. But hang on. No. Hang on. Where's my camera? What the actual fuck, dude? Okay, hang on. This is insane. I can't believe this keeps happening. I've had to like relaunch this thing so many times. Copy, transform, add it to this. Nuts. Okay. Let me pause this music. But I think I'm in maybe 2 shots in this entire video, and you can't even see my face. But if you see the guy with the trombone, you're gonna go, "Oh, well, that's Colin." Right? But this band used to be so goddamn good, and like people really enjoyed them. And then like again, he just pissed it all away. Oops. all our shots are gone from there too. That girlfriend also left him, which is also funny. So the song came true, or the music video came true. I think we show up soon. That may have been it. So, like, thank you. It's also not at all that great of a song. It's fine. But it's like so funny because, like, again, we shot all this footage for like days on end, right? So we did the bedroom scene where, you know, we were like there in his mind or whatever. But then we had all these things about like being in a band and like, you know, it's supposed to be about like him trying to focus on that, but also like things not being right in life, so he can't fully focus on it. So there are all these, you know, big story beats that were happening. And then he literally like, I think like a week out was just like, hey, so we made some creative choices to cut some of the footage, but like, you know, the band is obviously like, you know, still there because it would be weird for the band not to be in the music video. The band is in there for the last like 30 seconds. But that band used to be so fucking good. Like, so, Colin. Yeah, okay, hang on. I was eating. I usually don't laugh at people, but it's pretty funny. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Okay, you're going to bed. I don't do anything. It's just there, waiting. I would have said, what's a trombone, but I grew up on the home of 76 trombones. Don't let him run free. Keep it auto-modded. Colin, are you serious? Colin laughed my ass off. Was it the big boning thing that got caught? I can't remain awake for 24 hours. I hate myself. Okay, then go to bed. For a music video, you don't need to learn the song, really, do you? Well, in order to look accurate, right? Like, it'd be weird if I was going like, and it wasn't that you couldn't hear that at all. What else did you need me to read, Lopez? Because I just read everything. So like, what were you waiting on me reading? I'm not upset. I'm just asking. Well, okay, well then don't complain about being up for 24 hours. I did do Big Boning. I had seen it, and I thought I commented on it. Maybe I hadn't. But I did, in fact, do Big Boning. Yeah. And it sucks because, like, again, we had a lot of fun together. Somewhere there's footage of we once did a show, and like this is the thing, that guy had a huge ego, right? There was a lot of stuff that he was not willing to like give up on. Like he had to be the front man, he had to do all this stuff. But one time we were at a show, and the drummer was like, "I'm so sorry, I'm not gonna make it to the end of the set. I have to pee." And they were like, we have only 4 songs left. And he was like, "I'm telling you, I'm not going to make it." He was like, "Half of my job is just wiggling that area around. I got to go." So he ran off the stage. And so they were like, "Well, what are we going to do?" And I like how the story of the guy running the band into the ground and the first lyrics of the song were, "I have a problem with succeeding." Ain't that the fucking truth, AK? What happened though was he was a percussion major in college, so he knew how to play the drums. So then he was like, "Hey, Colin," he was like, "Yeah, you want to come up here and sing the next song while I play the drums?" And it was great. It was one of like my like probably 2 to 3 like top 3 kind of favorite songs by them. So of course I knew it. And I guess it still stroked his ego because he got to kind of show off that he could do more than one thing. But like, yeah, man. On a podcast that Alex and I used to work on together, we had interviewed him to talk about, being in a band to help promote that same album. And all this stuff. So like we were doing everything that we could to help promote them and help build them up. Because again, we knew things were getting bad, and we were trying to keep it from falling apart, from people recognizing that it was falling apart, things like that. And again, the way that it ended, of course, I basically did a whole episode where I rescinded my, "Hey, follow this guy, check out what he's doing." And then I laid out just a few things, like not even the whole reason why the band broke up. But I pointed out like the main problems and the things that were like also like legally not acceptable, right? Like one of which being like a copyright thing and like royalties and like refusing to pay out certain things and like wanting people to sign away rights in a contract. And it was like, it was so bad. Okay, hang on. Check out this clip. Colin and Parker streaming, just chatting. Wait, hang on. Stop. Cancel. Don't play the next clip. What was this? It'd be weird if I was going like... Okay, fine. Oops. Oops, sorry. Playing another clip. Christian just sent me a clip of just the part where I was going and didn't leave the rest of it. I think technically Christian probably could drop that in the chat if you wanted to. This is also how I found out that Christian was lurking. Anyway, I feel like you can hear all my mouth sounds, so I'm going to turn my music back on. And then I might play a little bit of a game for just a second. Just to kind of feel like I'm back in business. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Dorkin and Jen, thank you for... I'm going to be in the new apartment. Well, knock on wood. I mean, God, I better have my apartment this week, because the scary thing is that I have a truck picking up all my shit and bringing it this way. So like, if I find out on Monday for some weird reason that they're like, oh, actually, last minute, I've decided to not let you have this apartment. I don't think they would or could because we were already approved. And like I had signed my lease and everything like that. But like, you know, if we're going to be streaming, you and I, chat, hanging out, we need a space to do that. Because it can't be here where there's like basically no internet. Or a very rudimentary internet. And also a space where I would actually need space to do stuff in too. Because there's like, I'm basically living in a home office kind of thing. Which like, oh, great, then just stream from there. No, because then all my shit is just like right behind me and there's no space for the camera. Thank you for the fart, Redeem. But once I've moved in, I am going to immediately have family over, technically, this weekend, to help with some of the unpacking and sort of settling in, situation. But, Jen, maybe next week, maybe Fortnite stream? We could also start, or we could do our joint game, the Fortnite stream that you have to do. We could always do that. Also, I think like November 3rd, I think is when the next season starts. So we could also do it like right at the start of the season. So that way it's like everyone's level 1. It's not going to matter, you know, kind of thing. Sorry, you know what I'm saying, but like, oh, I don't even know what the new season looks like. I haven't even looked at it yet. I did love the heist, though. I really had a good time with the heist shit. Yeah, that's what I'd heard as well. Yeah, back before they went to chapters and stuff, yeah. Oh, sorry. Bringing it back to the question, though. I don't want to do the new Blink album. It's going good. Welcome back, Dean. I don't want to listen to the new Blink album until I can do a live react in a space where I feel better about where I'm at. You know what I mean? Why are you home for the week? It's not my new place. Long story. Well, basically, I was supposed to receive a text message today. Hey, real quick. Hey, Jem. No, thank you. That answers it. I was like, what the fuck is reading week? All right. Well, thank you, JJ. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm trying to save the Blink-182 react till until I am in the new digs. But speaking of, what I will react to, and I will say when I'm gonna share something here, but when I do, please recognize that when I go full screen to share this video, I'm not gonna be able to read chat for a minute. So Just hang tight, basically. So there's two things here. The first is the last song that we just heard was a song called Cringe. I mean, I do, but okay, here's the thing, AK. There's this weird little glitch that's happening with my app,
Hey, besties.
which is that if I try to watch my own channel, it gives me this screen that says cheer 1 bit for your first badge, but then I can't even do it because it says you can't give a thing. I have updated it, I'm telling you. So like it just keeps doing it. Yeah. It is the most recent update. I don't know what to tell you. You can't cheer on your own channel. You can't, Lopez. It's fucking illegal. But anyway, again, it's a okay. Chat into lurk mode while I get ready to go to sleep. Okay, good night. Okay, hang on. Oh, I guess I could. Hang on. 1 second. Hang on. Oh, yeah, hang on. I will say I could do that. Hang on. Whoops, hang on now. All right, someone say sorry. I am too heading back to bed or heading to bed. Stupid work in the morning until I get lucky and a meteor hits. Yeah, I don't see anything in the chat. Like it's also just blank. So, oh, never mind. Have a good night showed up, but not Dorkran's message. That's so weird. Okay, so anyway, let me tell you something about this. The first song that we heard, or that what we were listening to a second ago, that it was in the background or whatever, right? Is the song called Cringe, and it's from their 1998 album. In fact, it's actually one of the songs that both Eric and Jeff were considering putting in the Summer of 98 playlist. They ended up putting in not Clavicle. What was the other one? San Francisco? Or no, fuck, not San Francisco. Why did I say San Francisco? That's a blank song. Fuck, what song did they end up putting in? I'm all of a sudden blanking on which one they actually put in. But like they both had like 2 or 3 songs from them and from that album. But to me, Cringe, best song on the album. And Clavicle is probably my second favorite. But this rendition, which was done about 15 years after the original version came out, to this day is one of the best, like this is a live performance, and like he doesn't make a single fucking mistake. Oh, wait a minute, hang on. Actually, before I even start playing it, let me make sure that I actually have Chrome audio on. I have it on, right? Yeah, okay. Ooh, thank God. Because if I went through this whole video and everyone was like, we can't hear it, I'd be fucking pissed. Okay. He's such a good singer. Dan fucking ripping it up. Goddamn. Ooh. Nope, I don't have it today. Here comes the breakdown. Octave shifts. The man's got a giant mouth. It's wild. He makes so much noise, though. And this was like for part of a promotion of a new album at the time. I fucking love that song. And that live version is so fucking good. Oh, man. They also did a performance at AOL for Calling All Skeletons, I think is the one, but I think it's Help Me, where he like really, maybe I'll show this. Maybe I'll show that one. But I don't want to like make people watch Alkaline Trio videos all the time. But what I do want to play, fucking new song and music video. And this is a song from that same album that's playing in the background. Ten years later. Looks basically the same, just older, right? I like that he takes the whole cable. Such a good little scream. That was, I mean, I don't know. I really enjoyed that music video. When they dropped that the other day, I was like, yes. I mean, like, what a time to be alive. There's new Blink music. There's a new Alkaline Trio album on the way. Also, the very first time I saw this, I thought, you know, like sometimes in like movies, it's like, here's the character name and then here's who they're played by. The very first time I had to go back and double check because I thought they were like starring Matt Skiba played by, and I was like, what? No, what? Then realized these are just all the extras and then the three of them. But I love that music video. It's very fun. It's like very like old school. And yeah, it's pretty sick. And there is actually, was San Francisco on the playlist? That's so funny. I really thought for sure that was not the name of that song. I guess I just second guessed myself. But yeah, man. And we also got new Green Day. I mean, basically like the three like big pop punk bands, like kind of like your holy trinity. That's like, I mean, there's some really good ones, right? There's some really great bands outside of the three of them. Yeah, there was a new Green Day song as well. And so it's like, so both Green Day, well, I don't know if Green Day has announced a new album. I know that they announced a new song. I don't know if they're going to put some new stuff. Yeah, that's fine. I may have to leave for a bit. So yeah, there's new Green Day, it literally was like, I believe the way that it was like Wednesday, new Green Day dropped, Thursday, new Alkaline Trio dropped, and then Friday, the newest Blink album dropped. And I've only listened to one thing on the album that I hadn't heard already. That like there was some music that they pre-released before the album came out. Green Day is reportedly going back on the road next year on the 30th anniversary of the band's breakout album Dookie. Oh, are they really? I thought this. Wait, hang on. Hang on, something is. Oh, it was 1994. Yeah, there is no Colin command, but what? Oh, okay, gotcha. Before the band launches into The American Dream is Killing Me, the first single off of its upcoming. Okay, so they do have a new album. I wasn't sure if they were going to just put out like an EP. Also, by the way, if you need anything, it's always Attention. Yeah. But hang on. I really do want to play. I do want to play one last thing from Alkaline Trio because goddamn, dude. Like Matt Skiba he really does fucking sing so goddamn good. Okay, I promise this is the last song or music video, or not really a music video, but this is the last thing I'm going to make you all watch before we get into something else. This is so old because this was for AOL. Do you find me in between heaven and hell again? And nothing's what it seems. Son of hell and been giving me the griefs. Whoops. Into the unknown. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Extra note. It's good. Hang on, I'm second guessing something. Oh, it is. Yep. Hang on. Hang on. Again, look. He just has the widest mouth I've ever seen. It's like a cartoon character. It's insane. But an incredible singer. Backed off the mic too much, but it's a high ass note in there. Somebody help me. Save me from this hell. Take me from this hell. There's very little non-singing time in that song for him. God, he's just so fucking good. I love Matt Skiba. I feel like he was, at least during his time with Blink, I feel like he didn't really get his fair shake from some folks. But I also think that like there is something that is truly magical about like Tom being around, you know? Anyway, I will say, actually, it is 12:39. I feel like it's kind of late. It's not super late, but I think it's late enough that people are starting to pop out. So maybe tomorrow I'll finally kind of like do something a little bit more dynamic. But I definitely wanted to catch up with people. Wanted to let them know kind of what's been going on, what's still going on, what's happening. You know, kind of what to expect. I mean, again, knock on wood, we should be back in action. We should be back to having, you know, regular streams pretty soon. And also, I don't know if I've talked about this on stream yet or not. I do think that my stream schedule will probably change. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be, but I think that one of the biggest things that's going to start happening is like, because of the way some of my work stuff is scheduled, or the way that it works, might mean that occasionally, what it might be is that like we kind of keep the regular stream schedule, but like 1 week a month, it might be like, hey, this week is the random kind of crazy schedule where it's not at all Monday, Thursday, Friday. It might end up being like hey, during this week, it's going to be Monday, Thursday, Saturday, or like Monday, Tuesday, Saturday. And like, or honestly, there could even be a week where I'm like, Saturday might be the only day. Cause like, one of the big things that happens is that whenever we have concerts, there's almost never a concert on a Saturday. Concerts are almost always on a Sunday, sometimes on like a Monday or a Wednesday. And so because of that, like, you know, dress rehearsals then are on like a day like Saturday or whatever, but they always get out right around the time that I would be starting my stream anyway. And anytime that they're doing a dress rehearsal, I'm not typically going to be there from start to finish. I'm only going to be there for the first hour or two. To do things like getting extra video shots or getting some still photography. But yeah. The only other thing that I will say, by the way, as we're kind of getting ready to head out here, is I think I have before in the past said where I was taking my new job. And I'm going to try to do my best, though, to not mention the name of them again on stream. And I'm going to, it's tough because part of me is like, I would like to leverage my audience, right? To say, hey, here's where I work, like, go follow them, you know, give it some likes, give it some shares or whatever, right? Just kind of help grow the stuff to make it, you know, to show them that like I'm doing my work and that people are enjoying the work. But one of my biggest concerns is that as much as anything I do or say when I'm not at work shouldn't pertain to the company, right? The biggest problem is that I do technically work for a youth organization. So if I am saying or doing anything that parents might not agree with, they might then take up an issue with that staff member being around their, you know, their kids or whatever. So I am going to, we promise not to sniper you, bestie. Thank you. I appreciate that. So basically it's just like, I might maybe like once or twice with a few folks be like, hey, like I might share some of my stuff on the side, or maybe I might share stuff with like close friends only on Instagram kind of thing. But I really do think that I will probably for the most part not share socially what I do. Simply just because again, like I don't want to lose my job because someone's like, hey, so I found out that you play Fortnite and you know, you and your friends always say, you know, where the bitch is, or there's a bitch there, right? Like, or I got a bitch, right? Like, and they go like, you say that word way too much. I'm like, I really don't say it. It's just my, you know, my couple friends, but like, I don't really do it. That's not going to be good enough for them. They'll be like, you know, we don't like you using that language. It's reflective of us. It's so tough. Like just to me, some extent, I'm like, well, what I do on my own time and on my own hours, like is not the same thing. But unfortunately, that's not really how society works either, you know? So, if we can get someone fired for being a racist, unfortunately, someone could probably get me fired for, I don't know, for clicking heads in Fortnite. And the one downside to part of my branding is that while I've never been afraid to be my own brand, can I make a suggestion on how you leave stream abruptly? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I like, if we can get the racists for stuff, then unfortunately they can get me for playing my Fortnite and stuff. Yeah. What is it? Hey, one second. Let me real quick do this maneuver. One second. Let me. Okay. I'm not getting back into that one because that one was all we talked about at work for like forever. That was so oh no, Lopez. Dean got by the let me tell you, this was something that we were just all over the place with during Inside Gaming for so long. So you know what? I will not be addressing this. Listen. One of the big things for me is we're not going to do any kind of special raid message tonight. Just remember, be cool about stuff or whatever. And I was really thinking about, you know, going out to, I got a couple of different friends online that are live. But a big thing for me today was the fact that I started today with my mental health really just on the brink. And being here with all of you who have tuned in, whether you were here from the start or whether you were just here at the start or whether you were just here in the middle or just here at the end. It helped tremendously to be here and to do this. Like, again, I think Jen's probably in bed. But Jen could definitely attest to, Jen can definitely attest to the fact that like when I started the stream, I was clearly hitting live to just finally get back out here, because I've really been missing it. I've been missing it so much. I've missed making videos. I've missed streaming. And one of the big things that I want to leave you on, hang on, I'm not going to put the music back on because it feels weird to be quiet. One of the big things that I had a conversation with someone about just the other day, my dad, not my dad, but like the me to Jen, right? We had this whole lengthy conversation about what it means to have a job and what it means to be successful in a job. That there might be some jobs that you can kind of just show up for the allotted hours and that's it, right? But there are some places where, and especially in a place like a nonprofit, where things are typically going to be a little bit faster turnaround, way more, requirements, people wearing multiple hats. Like, for example, I'm launching the brand new merch store for this company on Monday. And like, we don't even have any of the crazy designs in there yet. So far, the designs that are in there are just the main logo in either white or blue ink, or something like that, right? Like, because those were easier to port in, but like I redid everything because our merch store was kind of a mess. So like, that's also something that doesn't really fit my job description, description, Jesus Christ. But like, it's something that I took on. So I'm putting in more than my time, right? And I was saying that like, I was taking Thursday off because I wanted to, like, I had a 40-hour week already. And so, I knew I wasn't going to have all the time off on the weekend either. So, what was the deal? But we had this conversation about what it means to have a job like this. And that typically what's going to happen is you're going to have to put in 110%. As much as that's statistically incorrect, right? What they mean by that is you're going to have to do more than 40 hours often. And that sucks, right? Because like you're not getting paid for those extra hours. But then during the weeks where you need to do just 40, people then think you're not doing all of your job. So there's a lot of like, give and take here. But one of the big things is that like if you're doing really good at your job, it also frequently means that something else is suffering. Whether that means family, friends, like relationships in general, health, home, all sorts of different things can be the thing that you struggle with. And my thing was like, well, that may be. I mean, that's probably the reason why I'm still single, right? Like I haven't been able to really put myself out there. Because like anytime I do it just doesn't work. And it's probably, again, because I spend way too much time doing stuff like this and also working. But I was like, I refuse to give up on my dreams though, right? Like I will put in my 40 hours and I can still give a little extra. But like when I tell you that my work will not be good if I can't take the time to express myself and to have these things will suffer. And I think they did. I think I proved my point. Like I still did some really great work during these last few weeks, but there were days where I could tell that like it took me longer to make things because my mental fog was just so heavy, because I was feeling trapped because I wasn't being able to do things like this. And so this is a long and roundabout way of saying sometimes all you need is something that will make you feel a little bit better. Oops, I missed the button. And so that's why I'm going to drop us all off with Turtles and Chill. Because sometimes you just have to kind of sit and chill with some turtles. That's what Master Splinter does. So I will see you all very soon, though. Have a good night.